Montana. Come on. The ad. All right. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. This is snow in Bozeman, Montana in May, and almost middle of May. Well, we're getting towards it. Anyways, let's get the show started, shall we? And first off, I'd like to thank everybody for taking a moment of their precious time to be with this precious family and be part of this precious family as well. Okay, so while we're kind of loading up there, you can see today's activity. Let me do a few adjustments here. Come on. All right, so here's today's activity. All right, this is May 9th, 2024. And we're just going to let that loop play. And while that's playing and you're looking, I'm sure most of you have seen a lot of reports today about all the activity on the sun. Okay, I'm about last to go live with this information. So there's been a lot of reporting on this and stuff as well. And we're going to go over some of the others, or some of that stuff as well tonight. So let's just get to it. Okay. Everybody take a nice deep breath. Hold it for 5 to 10 seconds and then slowly exhale. Stretch, crack your back. Do it again. There we go. All right, so let me catch this opening frame here. I can feel anxiety in the air. I know what you guys are starting to get scared, so don't be shaken. All right, so here we are, opening frame 024, May 9th, 2024. You can see we already have this extending CME right here. It appears to be, there's a bigger object back here or something. There's a widespread magnetic field from here to here. And it looks, there might be something going on in here. Maybe this spheroid right here kind of draped in plasma or something. Anyways, that's our opening image, all right? So that event already underway, moving out of frame. Full halo CME, by the way. Okay, there's our object right there. Boom, boom, boom. Come back. Stay right there. Oh, let's do it this way instead. All right, there we go. Now you can see it a little bit better. This round object right here, at least this one, all right? Now, something I want to talk about real quick while we're looking at this object, all right, this extraplanetary body, all right? Now, I've had several comments, and it could be, it doesn't matter what you name it. It could be Nibiru, it could be Tiamat, it could be whatever you decide to name it. Shit, we could name it Donald Duck, all right? But it doesn't change the fact that there's an extra celestial body in our solar system, all right? And I see people getting in arguments. Oh, it's this, it's named that, it whatever. There's more than one object. Okay, so what's this one's name? It doesn't have a name badge on it. Okay, he's not wearing a name tag. What about the big one back behind it? What's its name? Did you go up to him and shake his hand and ask him his name? So we're the ones that actually create the names for these objects. We named Mars. It's all of the things are named after what we give them names. In fact, we named this planet Earth, right? But its real name isn't Earth. Okay, what do you think this planet's real name is? When some of you figure it out, you can type it in the chat. Okay, but it all depends on what you name it. Okay, I wasn't a real big Nibiru guy, okay? I didn't believe in it. I saw people getting their lens flares declaring it to be Nibiru. I'm like, no, that's a lens flare. It wasn't until I seen these extraplanetary bodies on the satellite, okay, looking at the sun. They're interacting with the sun. That's a little different than a lens flare, okay? And I wasn't a big believer in Nibiru. I didn't even really think of the name or anything. What I saw was a winged planet, a planetoid with wings on it, okay? And now if you go back in our history, there is history from several cultures that talk about the winged planet, okay? So they named it, or Zachariah Sitchin named it Nibiru, coined it Nibiru. So all these names that we use, we don't need to argue over the names. You can name it whatever you want to. Okay, call it Tiamat, call it what Nibiru, call it extraplanetary body, call it a stellar core, a possible satellite, or another planetoid of another solar system, possibly. Okay, lots of names. You can name it whatever you want. Okay, so let's not argue over technicalities or something like that. Can we all agree that there's something going on out there? Okay, so I'm kind of trying to clear the air there with that argument, all right? Call it what you want. We don't need to go, arguing over details. Again, just like with the caps I was talking about, you write a message in caps. Everybody's more worried about the capitals instead of the message that was written. Okay, so we're all worried about names and labels instead of what the is going on there. All right, so anyways, hopefully you cleared the air with that. You guys name it whatever you want, and then you're free to argue over names, I guess. Still does not change the fact that this planetoid body interacted with the sun on September 10th of 2017, 13 days before the Revelation 12 sign. That's the point we need to understand. No matter what it is, it doesn't even matter what it is. It's the fact that it happens on a biblical day. It's a 2,000-year-old prophecy come true. That's what matters, okay? So when you're looking at this stuff, trying to, is it made out of this? Is it made out of that? What? Really, that stuff ultimately does not matter. These are signs in the sun, as promised. Okay, moving forward, though, you can clearly see our little object here, okay? It's interacting with the sun. It moves out of frame. Okay, now here's another little planetoid body. Oh, there's one, too. Is that Tiamat or is that Nibiru? Or maybe that one was Nibiru and that one's Tiamat. Or maybe this one's Tiamat and that's Nibiru and this one's something. See, so it doesn't matter. There's multiple objects out there. Multiple. I mean, there are like what appears to be multiple solar systems, each one with its own satellites. All right, so sorry, I'm jumping all over the place here. Continue forward here. Full halo CME coming at us. There's another thing that matters, okay? Despite the names of these things, what matters is we have a full halo CME coming out of the sun at us, okay? And that'll be 5 in a row, so. Here's another little object right there. You can call it an object. There we go. No names, no labels. Call it just something basic, what it is, an object. Now, you guys see the spread of this magnetic field already? Over on this side over here. There's an object right down in there inducing one. Oh, what was that? Okay, we got something circular right here, a bigger object right there with a smaller satellite right there. Hopefully you can see that. And you can see the plasma cone, basically this cone of plasma reaching back from it, this circular object right there. It almost looks like it has an X or something on it too. Oh, silly me, that's planet X. Oh, wait, or is that planet Y? Or tilt your head, it's a T. Oh, who cares? It's an extraplanetoid body with a satellite too, with its own little moon. Okay, so I'll let you be the judge of this. Okay, I'm just telling you what I see and what I was shown by God. All right. So, moving on. It moves on out of the frame there. You can see the extending cone of plasma stretching back. It'll almost like stretch that plasma out and spaghettify it, and stretch it until it snaps. But here we go with another CME. Back up. You guys see this dark little round spot right here? You can actually see a little bit of flow coming off of it there. Then again, here's another one over here. We could just planet X, planet Y, Z, planet A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You got the whole freaking alphabet out there, okay? Lots of these things are interacting. There's not just one planet X. There's not just one. What do you think's going on here? Here's another object. And that was the. Whoa, 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 whoa. Come back here. So we have a little jump in data. We're at 1436. And the next frame is 1936. So 5 hours of missing data there. Probably nothing important, you know. It's only X flares. There's only X flares popping off the sun in the face right at the planet. So another something right here, okay? And this is at 1936. So we had a jump in data. There was another big event, and we're catching, you know, halfway into it as it clears the frame or starts to exit the frame here. And, you know, maybe you should come over here too to this instrument and play around with it, do some research on your own and not just take my word for it. Come over here and look for yourself. Make sure I didn't fake this stuff or whatever. You know, it's when you capture something yourself, then it really sticks. Like, you know, you capture something in the clouds, or how many of you have seen a real UFO? The first time you saw a real UFO, you were in shock a little bit. It kind of changed your perspective of the world. So, much like, you know, that shock factor, when you grasp what's going on here, there's a slight little shock factor. There's also a natural reflex of denial, because this is disturbing information. You know, it's not a comfortable information. So that's why it's important that we do the spiritual talk at the end too. All right. Yeah, right there. All right, so there's your Soho for today, and I'm grateful that this thing is spitting out data again. I'll take whatever data I can get out of this thing. Ooh, right back here. See this one right there? And then here's the edge of another event up here. Look at this. Oh, come here. You see this object right there? And you can see plasma reaching out to it and hitting this. There's plasma streaking off the top of it, going around it. This is the same kind of flow asymmetries I was seeing in the weather. And I showed you the circular object. That event happened again today. And I only had a moment to look at it. And I was going to try to catch it and post it, but we're having this activity, all right? And if you can't see the object itself, the actual flow going around it gives it away. It's like water flowing over a rock in a river. It makes a bulge. It diverts the flow around it. Okay, so we're looking for stuff that's coming out, changing direction, and going around. Wait, let me back out some more there. Sorry. Okay, so boom, boom, and you see it leave the frame there. And you might be seeing more than I'm pointing out. You guys are getting good at this. I've seen some of the comments are like, oh, you missed it right here on this frame. And I go back and look. I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't see that, you know. So you guys are getting good at this as well. So, and that's finally your loop. So let me go ahead and put that back into play here again. All right. So a lot of activity on the sun. AR 3664 is crack-a-lacking, popping off. All right. So there's that for now. I'm going to come over here to the space solar ham. And I know, our pretty little graph is down at the moment. Oh, crap. We're having an event right now. Oh, shit. We're in an X 3.9 right now. See that right there? X 3.9. We're having a major absorption event here. You know what we can do, though? Please, Lord, let the other map be there. Let the other chart be there. Please, 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 please. Oh, we might get the other chart, you guys. Yeah. Come on, goes. Goes. It's trying. Oh, here it comes. Booyah, right there. We just had an X 3.9. Yep, right there. Maximum was a 3.9. Dang, every time I go live, we're having an X flare. Maybe I should stop going live. All right, well, here we have a, oh dear. Okay, we have a 3.9, one of our biggest X flares now. Okay, the last big one was what, the 2.5 or something, or 2.2. So now we have a brand new, currently just peaked, right as we went live. This thing just peaked, probably at the end of my prayer session right there. Wow. All right, so there is our current X-Flare 3.9 underway as we speak. And let me back out of this now. So if this chart was running, we'd have another peak going 3.9 way up there. Now, all these different X flares, all the M flares, a lot of activity. Our X flare potential still 60%. Well, it should be 100% because we're in X 3.9 right now. Okay, so basically an X4, pretty darn close. Now over here, this is way out of hand. This SFI, our lifted indices up at 233 right now. Okay, so, and the other ones are way high too. All right, so a lot of activity going on the sun. It's very, very active. Okay, all because of these two bad boys right here. And, well, because of the objects that are interacting with the sun. Okay, they create these things, and then these things spit out solar flares too. All right, so what I want to talk about, everybody's worried about, is tomorrow, May 11th. Well, now, tomorrow will be May 10th. All right, so it just turned the 10th now. So the day after tomorrow, this KP8 G4 magnetic storm, everybody's worried about a Carrington event and stuff. Okay, so let's kind of, let's deal with facts and the truth. So you're not so scared. You'll be prepared. All right. So right now, tomorrow, they're calling for a G1. Okay, so that energy on a G1 could influence the weather a little bit tomorrow. On May 8th, we will definitely probably see an enhancement of the weather. Okay. But for right now, and then after that, we got another G2. All right, which might bump up to a G3. We have these cannibal CMEs that are combining forces. It all depends on the way they land and impact on us. Okay, so let's open up the KP a little bit. Here we are. We're starting to climb a little bit, but not too high. We're at 3 right now. Our auroras are, our basic auroras, right? Like we're used to seeing. Okay, nothing too special right now. But that's all going to change because here is the predicted auroras for the 11th right there. For the 11th? All right, so it's going to be a very intense impact. It'll come way down here. We'll see low-level latitude auroras. Okay, so you people watch for low-level latitude auroras. Okay, and that's going to cause some issues with electronics and communications and airwaves and propagation, and It's going to be an intense absorption event as well. That's a lot of energy that's going to be sent down to the core. Okay. So that's just tomorrow night's aurora forecast. All right. Now back to our show currently in progress. All right. So there's your auroras for now. But the impact you saw, and we've seen impacts like that before. Okay, everybody, we've seen impacts like that, like what we just saw there before. This is going to be different. All right, so we'll get to that point here in a second. Let's open up the tracker and start looking at the tracker. You guys have probably seen this already today, but we are going to cover it. All right, first of all, a number of halo-coronal mass ejections associated with strong solar flares, 64, are expected to combine and arrive shortly after one another. Here's this on the 11th. Here's an impact on the 10th. Oh, no, this is the same one. Okay, they're due to combine, and then another one here on the 4th. No, this is still the same one. I thought they were showing the 3 different ones. Okay, never mind. Let me open up this one, and we'll start going into this. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this model, but I still got to cover it. We're going to talk about it. Some stuff that's a little bit different than other people are reporting, okay? Now, this is our velocity. This is your density. It's very dense, okay? It's going to have a lot of power to it, okay? There's going to be a lot of electricity in it, all right? It has some oomph to it. So it's got a lot of density, and then our, please, Lord, let it, all right, well, we're waiting for it to load there. Okay, our radial velocity over here, okay, so it's coming in, slowing down a little bit, and then boom, impact. So we have these first two waves combining together. Oh, they got the third one on there now, I think. All right, let this start over again. You see our first two come out here. The second one catches the first one. They strengthen. That black shows intensity. There's a second one behind it. Okay, I thought I saw a third one that they were showing. And here's your north-south too. So it's going to hit us square on north-south. It's going to hit us right in the middle of the bow. All right, two of them combined together. That the white is what we usually see as intensity. You know, it goes from green, yellow, orange to white, and then the next color after white is black. All right, so that's a very dense, very big, hard, just intense impact that we will see as far as density and the speed that it's hitting us too. So it's going to be a wallop right there, backed up by another one. The other one, the second one right there, is not as intense. All right, so that's 3 right there in a row. The first 2 combine, and the third one is right behind it. All right, there's a 4th CME that came out right after this, and then just now there was a 5th CME, and now we've just seen a 6th one while the show was going on. So okay, everybody, you got till the 11th. Tomorrow's the 10th. You know what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to do some grocery shopping. I'm going to stock up and get some batteries, some candles, you know, prepare in case the power goes out. This is one of these events that could take out the power. All right, so it could take down the internet. This could be our last show. We never know. All right, so I'm going to go get prepared. Everybody go get prepared. And at least you know this is coming. A lot of people aren't aware that this is coming. You can beat them to the grocery store and beat them to the bank and beat them to the gas station and get all stocked up without them in your way. Right? Or when you're out there, tell some friends, hey, you might want to get stocked up just in case power goes out. Charge up your phones, get backup batteries going. If you have solar powered chargers, um, you know, AM radios, simple, in case, because this is a serious incident. And I'm not saying it's going to be a kill shot or a Carrington event, but this first wave combined together has a lot of energy. Boom, that impact right there is going to affect the earth. We'll probably see a good earthquake. All right, just from the impact. All right, not from the pressure down below, from pressure up above, from the sheer velocity and mass. We have mass and velocity hitting us really fast, really hard. So I could see a pressure, an outside pressure pushing down on the earth, induced type earthquake. Then later, once this energy, after all these CMEs have absorbed, because we'll get like a magnetic grip too out of one of these, I think. And then also what happens is when we have ones that cannibalize like that and form together, the third one won't be able to catch up. See that little barrier in between the two shock waves? There's a like a magnetic buildup, or well, a little barrier builds up so the next one can't catch up. So you'll see individual waves. You'll see the first big one, and then a break, and then the next one. And what could happen here is if the first one is too strong, it could weaken the magnetic field. If it weakens the magnetic field, the second wave right here would hit us with a weak magnetic field. But if you look at the second one, it's not as strong. Okay, so if say the big one kind of weakens the magnetic field and the next wave hits us, well, at least it's the second wave isn't black, it's not combined. All right, and they almost all kind of join together, but I think we're going to see a little separation. It's not going to be a 3-in-1. It's going to be a 1-2 punch altogether, and then a stall for a second, and then another uppercut. And that's just the 3 of them, all right? We have a lot of them on the way. All right, so let's back out of this for right now. I'm sure you guys had enough of that instrument for a while. And don't let that build up a bunch of anxiety. All right. Fear of the unknown. Well, let's get to know this so we're not so scared. All right, let me back out of this. And let's get into our articles here. Let me just check our current status. Are you re-updating? We're X3.9 still. Yeah, we're currently getting X-rayed. Well, no, we're not. The other part of the world is. I just want to check. Yeah, it's dropping still. Okay, yeah, so we're coming down. We're probably at X. We're below. We're X 1.7 now. So we hit a peak of 3.9 and we're currently 1.7 right now. So it's coming out of it. Okay. Wow. Oh, no, stay right there. Don't move. Come back here. I want to talk about something real quick. All right, so I showed you the 3 impacts, all right? So here's another X flare right here, another X flare right there, and then our big one. These 2 might combine because they're in the same day. They're pretty close to each other. There's not much separating them except this end flare. I could see all those 2 combining again when they impact us with a big one behind it again. All right, so very similar to the 1, 2, 3 punch. Here we go with another 1, 2, 3 punch. All right, now back to all the X flares. Yeah, let's cover that. All right, let's read this article real quick. The geomagnetic storm, for the first time in nearly 20 years, a severe G4 geomagnetic storm has been issued for NOAA. The little purple stripe, our pretty little purple box. I've never seen purple on this before, and it's scary. Anyway, my favorite color. It'll be okay. So G4, it might be a bit stronger. We'll see. Okay, pretty little chart and everything you can come look at. A number of strong solar flares around active sunspot region 64 was responsible for at least 4 Earth-directed plasma eruptions. At least 4. Better known as coronal mass ejections. They are expected to reach Earth beginning late on May 10th and into the 11th. The first 2 observed on May 8th following X1 and M8 solar flares may combine together for an initial first impact. This is expected to be followed by an additional impacts to Earth's geomagnetic field as the weekend moves along. Visible aurora will be likely for locations at middle latitudes should a strong G3 or severe G4 storm be observed as forecast. Skywatchers across Scandinavia, Europe, UK, Canada, USA, Alaska should be on alert. Should a period of severe G4 storming take place, locations as far as south as Texas and California could see aurora on the horizon once dark outside. Okay. Other impacts during a severe geomagnetic storm, including degraded HF radio propagation, some issues with power systems, issues with power systems, especially at high latitudes, and satellite navigation issues. So there might be some satellite issues. That means your internet, all right? Please keep in mind that the forecast is subject to change depending on the CME impact strength and timing. Generally speaking, there should be no threat to humans here on our planet. The X2.2 solar flare severe storm watch, the 64 does it again along with a long duration 2.2 solar flare peaking at 9. All right, the coronal dimming is already evident, meaning this flare will likely be source of a CME, a fourth CME. Okay, the geomagnetic storm watch for this weekend was upgraded to a severe G4, and this latest event could add even more fuel to the storm. Aurora skywatchers, even at middle latitudes, rejoice. It could be your last day on Earth. Oh, I mean, it could be a great weekend. Fourth Halo CME confirmed. Fourth one confirmed. Updated coronagraph imagery following the X2.2. All right, so that was confirmed. This is third, fourth. Okay, those are all our older ones, which is fine. We did the tracker. Now, I want to do the D region here. And let that load up here real quick. And bingo. Here we go. Please play. All right, I'm just going to let it play. I'm not going to guide it. All right. See little fluctuations like that. It's just our little sun pumping out little M flares and stuff towards us. And then, coming up here in a second. You know what? This thing refreshed, and the impact at the very beginning that I was going to talk about is already off the time scale of the page. So I guess all we're going to capture really is this last one that just happened here. So let me just go ahead and scoot it on down. Pow! Right there. 3.9 to the gut right there. All of Asia. Look at that. All right, so R3 radio blackout going on there with that. Again, that's a lot of energy being absorbed up at the D layer. It gets transferred to the poles, goes down into the core, okay? So if the light, these X-rays from the flare or from the CME hit us, we're going to get hit with the CME from it too. All right, so there's your D-layer region. I showed you our auroral forecast for tomorrow night, okay? So, prepared, you might lose power, communications, stuff for a little while. We'll see here. All right, now let's move on to this article real quick. All right, so are we about to experience a new carrying event? No, AR-64 is indeed a Carrington-class sunspot, but the CMEs it hurled towards Earth over the past few days are not as potent as the monster CME of September 1st, 1859. NOAA says we might experience a severe geomagnetic storm when the CMEs arrive late this weekend. And if geomagnetic storms were hurricanes, severe would be a Category 4. So the Carrington event was a Category 5 or greater. So this is no Carrington event. Even so, Category 4 is pretty intense if it happens. So stay tuned for some great auroras. 5 CMEs are heading for Earth. So they confirmed the 4th, and here we go. 5 CMEs are heading for Earth. Great sunspot. Make that 6 now. This article was written before this happened, before this latest X flare. So let me just kind of help them along a little bit. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just going to help them along and say 6 CMEs are heading for Earth. 5 are confirmed right now, and it looks like we're about to have a big one at the tail end so far. So 5 in a row, 5 CMEs are heading for Earth. They're all in this forensic 2-day coronagraph movie from Solar Hemisphere Observatory. A lot of halos coming at us. All right, some of them are from X flares too. So, the 2 bright objects are Jupiter and Venus. The CMEs will miss those planets. According to NOAA forecast models, the first 3 CMEs could merge for a cannibal CME. Huh? I didn't see that. Let's check this one out real quick. That's the same one. Never mind. Could, but what we saw, it didn't. It looked like maybe 2 separate impacts. So we will see here. Sorry, thought it was going to show a different thing. Okay. The cannibal CMEs, when form fast-moving CMEs, take over and gobble up slower CMEs in front of them. All right, the cannibal CME is expected to arrive on May 11th. Okay, it could also spark a strong G3. We think G4 with 2 more CMEs. Make that 3 more, following close behind. Storm levels could become extreme. G4, sparking auroras at mid-lower latitudes, and don't miss this storm. Sign up for, okay, blah, blah. All right, so it's not the big old monster. It's not the one monster CME. It's a bunch of stacked on top of each other. The Carrington event was like an X25. None of these are X25. All right. So we've had an X4, to the face before and survived it. So it's going to be a bumpy ride, though, because of all of that. Well, we don't have the chart, but all that energy being absorbed down to the planet. Okay, let's get on over here to the null school. And I got it set up on our upper jet stream, and you can see this flow. What we had before were 2 separate. We had a northern plains flow and a southern plains flow. Now it's been smashed down into one big, huge zonal flow. Let me back out a little bit for you. The whole country is the cocktail, all right? The hot cocktail being slammed together is going across the whole country. It's not just a small little alley where cold air and warm air slam together. You're just to see this, the scale of this, instead of warm water coming up out of the Gulf and cold air coming out of here, this whole circulation is pumping warm water, or this warm Gulf moisture, out here and mixing it with the cold air coming down here and cold air coming down here. So we got two little places where cold air and all this moisture and this moisture all blend together. And where they blend together, what I call the hot cocktail, though most of the country is the cocktail, except for this part about up here. All right, so boom, right there. Everything south of yeah, you can see it right there. Now let me take the winds off of here real quick, and you can see the colorization. So everybody in that region, be aware. Okay, we got some very intense weather coming this way. We've seen these little objects interacting with the weather and steering it. All right, so looks like we're in for a batch of rough weather here too. As if the weather hadn't been bad enough. So that's our upper jet. Okay, that's the upper jet. Don't get confused here. Take you down a little bit to the lower jet. You can still see how we have cold air coming out of here, the cocktail coming across the country. And this whole region right now is under the gun. We'll get down a little lower to our actual storm. Okay, and now, because of that upper jet stream and the flow that it's caused, here's our weather. It's coming from out of here, dropping down across the plains, mixing with this moist air and coming up. We also have, where'd it go? We have weather kind of going backwards here. All right, see how it's rotation right here? This weather is turning and going, instead of west to east, the weather's going backwards right here. So this big old shaft of cold air coming down here is actually splitting and going this way. Remember the upper jet was taking stuff out off the coast and bringing it back in? Well, it's hitting some barrier down at the lower levels and keeping it from going all the way out and circulating around. But that rotation's kind of there, and it's shoving weather backwards off the coast. Pretty different. All right, so while we're there, let's come on over to the particulates now and talk about these sandstorms here. Oh, make sure we got the right calendar date, because sometimes that frame right there. Yep, doing better now. I think it was just because it was that one day they wanted to show that image. All right, got the winds in there? All right, yeah, the winds are set up. You can see massive sandstorms still going on in North Africa, the whole northern part of Africa. It's blowing sand clear across the Atlantic, depositing it all over the Caribbean. Ow. Hang on. Excuse me. All right, so depositing all the sand over here in the Caribbean and into, upper South America, into the Brazilian rainforest. Okay, then we have winds kicking it up, making a huge sandstorm wall right here. Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen area right there. This storm up here circulating is picking the sand up and bringing it over the Mediterranean. Ooh. Then we have stuff still going off by the Caspian Sea, kind of hooking up with the stuff. Well, that's its own little thing. Here's the Gobi Desert one. So we got sand, it looks like coming. Very interesting. How is that happening? This is the Gobi Desert one. Where's this sand coming from? Huh. Oh, so get this. The wind coming out of this area, you see this wall of, this barrier, the wind has pushed this, it's going this way. The wind has kicked up a sandstorm over China, coming this way towards China here. Because that's the one over the Gobi Desert. It's split. It's got two different sandstorms going on. And then this one's getting pretty healthy in that region. All right. And when we look at this, this is more particulates in the air. All right. More, more particulates for water droplets to adhere to. All right. Every water droplet needs some little particle, dust, sand, any kind of little piece of matter, tiny micron, and it'll adhere to it and cause raindrop. And if you have more particulates, you have the more potential for raindrops. Whoops, back to SO2. So our SO2 for tonight, whoops, take off the wind for a second. Let's back up for daytime in China. All right, so coming over here, you can see this SO2. Let me just show you real quick the chart. Purple being the color chart being more intense, the white, the gray being less intense, all right? So we're here for the colorization, the intensity, all right, and where it's coming from. So here we have China still bleeding out. They got a big intense plume or big area with a lot of pressure under it, pushing out SO2. It's actually crept up into this region now, is emitting CO2 as well, or SO2. Our main relief valve is Java here with all the volcanoes on it. So it's been pumping out a lot of pressure, all these volcanoes going off in this region. All right, we've even seen earthquake activity off the shore there in the boundary, the plate boundary area. Here's India. You can see they got their issues. Here's Europe. Looks like a side of beef that's been shot with a shotgun. All right, then we got a spot down there in South Africa as well. So the darkness indicates pressure down below. Okay, it's a lot of gas coming out, so it takes a lot of pressure to push that gas out, right? So the darkening of the color tells you that there's some pressure down there. Okay, it's pushing out a lot of gas. Where do I want to go down to? Also back to our time frame in our section of the world. Here's America. Okay. And country divided. One side bleeding out and the other side kind of speckled. All right. So every time kind of looks like that. Clear line right down the country. And then you can see over here on the East Coast, this whole eastern half of the country here has a lot of SO2 coming out of the ground because there's pressure down below. And there's a lot of perforations in the crust over here. And each little dot that you're looking at is a leak site. A site where it's leaking out of the ground, creating a plume of this in the air. Okay? Easy stuff. There we go. So, a while back, there was 4 of these little dots over here on the coast of California, and BP Earthwatch brought it to people's attention, and the whole world freaked out. Now, we got more than 4 dots, I would say, and nobody bats an eye at it. Clear sign that there's problems down below, all right? This map used to never look like this. It never had SO2 just pouring out of every continent. And come down here to South America. You can see it running down the whole length of the Chilean beach right here, going up. Here's our fulcrum point right here. Our dark little spot is a good reference point. The darker, more defined these 3 are, sometimes there's a 4th. It's a good indicator of pressure. When all 4 of these are visible, and lately we've had a new player added, this one up here. So, do you see all 5 of them? That one's there. These 3 are pretty good. The 4th one's showing up in the middle. So there's some pressure in that region. Look at the whole coast of Chile. That's a lot of SO2 coming out of the ground every day. All right. Every day there's just this constant pressure, which is good. that we're having a lot of it released here because it's keeping a big earthquake from happening off the coast right there, and that's a spot known for the biggest earthquake ever. All right, now moving on. Anywhere else we need to look? I think we covered that. Now over to our ocean and take you to the surface temperature anomalies. What? Okay. Here we go. White being intense, yellow. Here, let's pull up the color chart real quick as a reference. White being intense, red, orange, yellow, all the way through white, and then going the other way, being cold. So we got a lot of hot water off the coast of Japan, either like a underwater seamount that's spewing hot lava or hot water, some kind of underwater vent creating hot water in that region. There was the little plume out here that grew in size and turned from red to orange, and now this whole area right here has grown in size and intensity. This is where Tamumasi is, the biggest volcano on the planet, right there. After that happened, we saw a little bit of red starting to seep into this area. This area started to expand in size in red, in this red stuff. Now it has changed orange now to yellow, and the red has expanded out even bigger. Okay, and now here's Tamumasi, the biggest volcano on the planet, and that's the pressure coming out of it. Look at this. This is even bigger. All right, we have a lot of hot water right off the coast. Well, not right off the coast, but look at this triangle from straight out from San Francisco and just north of Hawaii. Bing, 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 bing. All right, so there's a big old plume, hot water growing, and it's getting bigger in size and changing in color from, light red, finally went orange, and now we're seeing yellow in this giant region right here. Okay. I like to take a peek at Taiwan and our fulcrum point here just to check in on them and their pressure. All right. You can see right here where the fulcrum point is, we have some yellow. Okay. But all in all the way around the island, it used to be a lot worse. It used to be surrounded by yellow, and that intensity has lessened and lessened and lessened, gotten lesser each time. And now we have cold water that's kind of invading into that area. So it tells me some of the pressure in this region, maybe it has grown a little bit right here at the fulcrum point. Okay. But all in all, it looks like it's decreased around there. It's actually kind of increased down here, and we saw an earthquake in that region corresponding with it. All right, so, and then let me just do something real quick here. Here's your regular surface temperatures. Okay, this time of year, this day. There's your warmer water, hot water, and then as you go up, the further north you go, the cooler the water gets, right? So we come up here off the coast of Japan here, and it shows a little bit of this warm water seeping up here, okay? But right out here is green and blue. Okay, this area is colder water. It's not the dark burgundy and purple. Okay, so that's your colder water region, but we have hot water there. So I don't know if this is picking up the water coming out of Fukushima that could possibly be hot, but to me, it looks like there's pressure out there on the ocean floor. So everybody watch Japan. All right. When this pressure comes in from all these X flares and all this absorbed energy, after it's already passed and the earth has absorbed that energy, it takes a second to process that energy pressure back up to the surface. But we're going to look for weak spots for that pressure to release. This could possibly be one of the weak spots right there, and as well as some of the places that we cover in our earthquake report too. We covered. Yes, I think we covered all that. I don't really feel like doing SO4 tonight, so we'll just skip that part. And let's get on over to our earthquakes now. Okay. Pretty quiet all in all on this map. Kind of a suppression event, but we still do have some activity. So let's get into it. Our deep region, 4.5, our typical regular activity magnitude that we're used to seeing, mid-range 4 down at 587 right there. We have 4.6 at 136 right there. Now again with this spot, all right, we haven't had much activity in this zone, this part of the system for a while, and now we saw a decent sized quake here and some aftershocks, and now again today we have more activity here with this 5.0 at Vanuatu here down at a depth of 11. All right, and right next to it is a 4.9, which basically another 5 right at the surface. So we're seeing energy being relieved at the surface here, aren't we? Yes, we are. This is a new weak spot, a potential for when our energy builds up and pressure comes up to the surface, and we're going to see a big quake, it could possibly come out of that region. That's a weak spot now, the path of least resistance. 4.8 here down at 24. Come over to our little pit area. 4.4 down at 26.4. And then up here at our fulcrum point, Taiwan. Remember, I was kind of showing you there was a little bit of yellow right there at the fulcrum point. So here's some of that energy being distributed right there. Please close out. Okay. Please, Jesus. Thank you. 5.1 at a depth of 10. Okay. Surface quake, 5 energy being relieved right there. Another 5 at the surface and a mid-range 4 at the surface. So pressure being relieved right there. Now, this is also an indicator. If we're seeing activity in this region, this could be our path of least resistance or a weak spot in the future here. I'm kind of not too worried about magnitudes. I'm looking, where's the new weak spots? Where are we going to see activity when this pressure comes in? Here we are over at the Juan de Fuca, just a 2.5 there, nothing big. Actually, what I want to do is all magnitude here real quick. We want to make sure that the geysers at California here are still flurrying and having lots of energy come out of that area. Okay, good. That's relieving energy on a microquake scale, which is good. We're cooling down California. Everything looks good and quiet through there, really. Those are all smaller quakes, so nothing too bad to report. Here again, over Salt Lake City, this region, this 1.4 over Thatcher, Utah. This is a new, weak spot. Look at this. You see all these little quakes? It's not just one. They had a little quake flurry. They're smaller quakes, so that tells me that this is a new spot, a weak spot, a new spot to watch for potential quake activity when our pressure comes in. So Salt Lake City. What's going on here? We have a volcanic feature here with Three Rivers, Oregon. Just a little magma moving around underneath that feature right there. It's Mount Rainier, folks. A little activity going on there. It's nothing big, but it shows me that there's magma moving around down underneath there. And here we are at St. Helens too. All right. Little microquakes here. Whoops. Sorry, I'm moving too fast. Little microquakes right here on the dome here at Mount St. Helens. So, indicator that pressure down below is building and it's causing earthquakes at our volcanic sites. Okay, that means possible volcanic activity out of these two in the future here. Oh dear. If we get too much pressure, we could possibly see one of these two volcanoes go off. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm just showing you I see activity there. And when a bunch of pressure comes in, I'm looking for weak spots right now. And when you have weak spots at volcanoes, well, we know why. All right, everybody, keep your head on a swivel. Keep your prayers. Stay focused on the Lord. Don't let all this stuff build up a bunch of anxiety. I'm going to show you a different way to look at this. It's kind of good news. All right, let me get the rest of this out of here. Over here in South America, we have 4.5, 4.6, and 4.4. Typical activity in that region, relieving pressure in that area. Okay, so that's all good. It's good. Oh, yeah, we want to take a little peek at the hub of the wheel. All right, so the Pacific Rim, the Ring of Fire, is like a bicycle wheel, and in the middle of that wheel is the hub, where all the spokes emanate from, right? The hub of the wheel. So this would be the hub of the Pacific Rim, and you can see we got all our little microquake activity going on here, relieving pressure in the area. Latest one was a 2.3. So bunch of mid-range 2s and 1s relieving pressure at the hub. This tells me we have pressure down below if we're having activity at the hub. Otherwise, everything else is looking kind of quiet for now, which is good, but we'll keep monitoring our earthquakes. It's going to change here in a little while once pressure builds down below and then transfers and makes its way up to the surface. Let me get this forecast. Whoops. Pulled up here. I'm going to do a volcano report too, but I'm trying to X out of some of these. So I figured I'd let that play in the background for a second while I do all that. You can see a timestamp over here to the right. So I'm trying to get rid of some of these pages because the earthquake report or the volcano report takes up a lot on my computer for some reason. Okay, let that come around. You guys got a little sneak peek at the forecast there. We'll come back to that. Let me wrap up the volcano report real quick. We'll come back to that, and then we can get on to the spiritual report. You guys live in there? Oh, okay. My chat disappeared. I'm like, hey, where'd everybody go? All right. Volcano, let's do it. 33 erupting, 21 in warning, and 28 in unrest. Sorry we have to do it this way. I've tried opening the volcano page up before, and it jams up the rest of the show. So I figure we'll just kind of work it this way. Fuego, Popo, Semeru, Requejenas, Reventador, Luatovo, Nevada del Ruiz, and Salancaya. So Requejenas, the eruption has ceased. Well, that'll change. Civil defense experts conducted a drone flight over the eruption site on the night of May 8th, and no signs of activity could be seen. Okay, good. So this is good. This is an indicator. Now, Requejenas has subsided. Wait until you see this new round of pressure come in, be transferred down to the core, or new energy transferred down to the core. The pressure builds up, and then we will see Requejenas come back to life again. Luatolo, meantime, 7,000 feet. Semeru, on the island of Java, our relief valve right here. Nice 15,000 foot blast every day. It's just pumping out of 15, 14, 15. So that's our little relief valve or one of them right here, is the volcano here at Semeru. It has been constant for a long time now, and with always consistent uh, altitudes too. Now, seeing as how 15 is like the highest we've seen out of Semeru throughout all these reporting, when this new pressure comes in, builds up and stuff, we might see a blast out of Semeru that's higher than 15. We will see blasts that are taller. Okay, we might even have a volcanic blast out of a new volcano that goes to 40,000, 60,000, like we saw not too long ago. Now, Semeru, 15,000. Popo, no VA. 17,000 out of Fuego. Nevada del Ruiz, recent. Okay, Reventador, explosive activity continues. 14,000 feet out of Reventador here in Ecuador. Now, this was an old faithful one that kind of petered out for a while and disappeared off the list. Boom. Old volcano come back to life, and now having 14,000 foot blasts. Sabancaya in Peru, 24,000 feet. Okay, so every blast has more ash getting ejected way up there, which are more particulates and more capacity for the water or the air to hold water. So, not good. Suwanosejima, 6,000 feet. Ibu, 9,000 feet. The eruptive activity at the volcano's behavior is characterized by a combination of near constant to moderate and sporadic strong volcanian-type explosions from the caldera's cinder cone. All signs that, we got. Oh, cool. There we go. So, Luatobi here. Where'd it go? I thought I saw the flight level in that one. Okay, never mind. Moving on. Semeru here, again, 15,000 feet. Ducono, 8,000. Ruang, 6,000. Popocatépetl, 19,000. Fuego, no VA. Reventador, no VA. Sabancaya, 28,000. All right, and that was for the 9th. Okay, we made it through that. Let's get on over. There's a lot of volcano activity. Okay, and I showed you on the map, most of the volcano activity is underwater. All right, so we got a sneak peek at this. I'll go ahead and let that loop play one more time because I really didn't look at it. Okay, all that subject to change. Lately, we've noticed that the weather has been, hard to predict. And what they say is going to be an intense day ends up being just moderate, and a moderate day ends up being intense. So, very, very delicate game of hit and miss now with the weather. I showed you, here, let's just pull this up right now before, we'll get into that after this. Let's just do the weather. Current conditions, nighttime of the 9th. We still have moisture down in this region going up through the upper northeast there. Now, this will be the morning time of the 10th here. We have the capacity, we're going to still see severe weather down here in the south, down Alabama and Georgia. That's the morning of the 10th. There's noon, the end of convection, the nighttime, morning of the 11th. Noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 12th, noon. A little bit of severe weather, noontime, convection of the 12th, nighttime, morning of the 13th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 14th. Severe weather down here, these lows, watch out there. 14th. There's noon, convection, nighttime. 15th, noon, convection, nighttime. 16th, noon. Whoa, morning of the 16th right there, watch out. Noon, convection, nighttime. morning of the 17th, down here in Louisiana, noon, convection, nighttime. This big old low is going to be dangerous again. Morning of the 18th, noon, convection, nighttime. 19th, noon, convection, nighttime. 20th, noon, convection, nighttime. 21st, noon, convection, nighttime. Ooh, that's way out there, though. 22nd, noon, convection, nighttime. 23rd, noon, convection, nighttime. 24th, noon, convection, and nighttime. Ooh, we got a little bit. 25th, noon, convection, and that's it. All right, so starting from right now, going into the morning hours, you're going to see down here still severe chances for severe weather. During the noontime, you see how this is pulling away and this is driving north. Watch out in this region still, okay? This doesn't look like it's doing it justice. But that's what we're calling for right now. All this can be subject to change, so it's important that you follow your weather, kind of daily, maybe even hourly through the course of the day when you're in some of these places. Now, this is the end of convection right here, and they're not showing much going on. All right. Most of this energy is moved up here and split off and torn away here. There might still be something going on in that region tomorrow, May 10th, okay? Because there's the convection, the noontime, or no, that's the nighttime. So right about here is when our impact from CME. There's noon of the 11th, convection of the 11th, and nighttime. Now, they're not showing any severe weather here for the 11th. Okay, so if that impact happens, they're not taking that into consideration in their forecasting here. So here's the morning. By noon, you could possibly see severe weather in here and in here, enhanced weather. By convection, you might see a QLCS coming out of this area or pop-ups or whatever. Over here, we got more moisture creeping in, cold air coming down, starting to collide right there by convection. So what's green here, anything in the green, you might see severe weather even in this area. Pray I'm wrong, but lately it's been... well, we'll talk about that. So there's the nighttime of the 11th, into the morning of the 12th. So backing up that whole time frame right there, from right about here for the next 6 frames, all that could possibly be enhanced. Even maybe a little bit into this. So it all depends on the timing of the impact too. Now, while we're there at that, I want to talk about something else here. Sure, I'll take that one. Now, I captured something happening I've seen this happening before in the weather. I just never really took the time to capture it till yesterday when I was watching it, and it started to dissipate, and I thought, wait, before it starts to dissipate or, disappear, I better capture this effect. Now, this is going on again today, as soon as this loads up here, and there's a round spherical shape in the middle of all these storms. It's kind of controlling all these storms. Hopefully you can see it in the background or the edge of those storm systems. Okay, there's a round spherical shape in the middle of all these storms. It's kind of controlling all these storms. Hopefully you can see it in the background. Right there. The storms are forming around the edge of it. It's round. It's like a ball. And as it runs into a storm, it'll quash it and put it out and squash the storm and then redirect the moisture up here. So as you see this clear, round, circular shape moving across the screen, it's actually dragging the storms with it. The storms are produced by the flow asymmetries of this spheroid thing moving through the atmosphere. The wind currents kicking up the moisture and stuff. Here, let me start it again and just let it play a few times over again. Those storm systems. Okay, there's a round spherical shape in the middle of all these storms. It's kind of all right. Now that's all these storms. That shape is moving. It's not like a radar site. Those storm systems. It's a spheroid blob of air. Shape in the middle of all these storms. It's probably electromagnetic, and that's what's inducing the weather around the edges of it. I want you to look at the flow asymmetries of these storms erupting. Hopefully you can see it in the background or the edge of those storm systems. I'll let that play a few times. There's a round spherical shape in the middle of all these storms. It's kind of controlling all these storms. Okay, and then when you see this effect, go to your weather radar apps. When you see a couple of storms all lined up in a row moving like this, they're organized because of a different reason. This thing right in there is moving across, and it's dragging the weather with it. And when I saw that effect, I can see how it causes stuff at the bottom to roil up. It drags stuff up into it, squashes stuff right in front of it, but then you can watch the flow asymmetries going around it. I saw that effect happening, and I saw what direction it was moving. The whole circle, in this one, you can see it's moving this direction, right? So you can see these storms down below are following right at the leading edge. So if you just continue the direction that this is going, you can take these storms and continue on and point at the next town and know where it's going. All right, that's vital to know when you guys are looking at your weather radar apps now. Okay, if you want to know where these storms are blossoming and you know why it's having that effect, come over to this is off of my radar weather app. Okay. And it's not a radar artifact. There is something circular in there inducing the storms. The storms are a side effect of this thing moving through the air. All right? Now, when you know that that's happening, and you see what I'm talking about here, okay, when you know that that's happening, tomorrow when these storms blossom, tomorrow, when this thing, please back up for me, Lord. All right, right here. This will be, no. One more back. I want the convection of the 10th right there, okay? So tomorrow's convection. This is when cloud tops should be their highest, right? The sun's been cooking the clouds, boiling all day, and we don't have any really severe weather, slight little bit right here on the coast, all right? Now with this stuff happening, I don't think they're compensating for these objects that are showing up, enhancing the weather, moving, directing them. So our forecast now could change. And I've seen a lot of other weather models that are calling for severe weather in this whole region. Okay. And this doesn't look like what we're going to expect tomorrow. All right. I pray I'm wrong, but this is the end of convection. Let's go into the nighttime. Since lately we've been seeing nighttime blossoming, let's go into the nighttime hours. The blossoming happens off the coast here, and it makes this whole thing look naked, right? So let's pray that during impact of the CME that it stays this way, that we don't have any weather really developing at the time to enhance. But I think another reason for our enhancement and just our, these guys were right when they predicted a heavy day, a very strong tornado day that day, and it didn't pan out. It didn't pan out because this activity was working in a different fashion that day. Then the following day, when they thought everything was going to be mellow, which it should have been, This activity kicked up and changed their forecast. Okay, we have other factors in your weather. So basically, when we start doing these model runs and everything, nothing's set in stone anymore. We have other contributing factors. It could hop into one of these storms real quick and push it and make something that wasn't even there blossom. And as a lot of you have learned lately, it only takes one speck on the radar. One little cloud can blossom into an F5 tornado that wipes out a town, because it all starts from one droplet. Okay, so it's important that we kind of understand what's happening. This is your current conditions right here. And let me take a look at my weather radar app right now, because it's not jiving with what I saw last time. And we might even capture that effect right now while I open my weather radar app. So give us just a second here. And while we're waiting on that, why don't you go ahead and just take some time and study that effect, so you get used to knowing what to look for. And then when you see that effect happening in the weather around you, you'll know which way the sphere is heading with the boiling storms at the bottom of it. You'll be able to trace the trajectory of the circle. So it's going that way. All right, then that way your storms are going that way. They're following this thing. If this thing was moving up that way, you would follow the storms with that. All right, so another added tool to predicting these thunderstorms and their trajectories and their paths. I was able to predict 5 different towns about half an hour to 45 minutes before there was even a tornado close. You know, everybody's like, oh, that's way out there. And I'm like, no, no, no. This convergence line, this circle's moving this way. It's pulling air. You're going to see when these two converge, right? It's moving this way, and you triangulate. Oh, it's going to intersect right here. And you look at that town. And I'm like, hey, watch out for this town over here. And there's nothing around there. I said, just watch out. Warn them now. Something big and heavy is gonna touch down on them. Oh, come on. And they kicked me out of the chat because they're like, oh, you're trying to predict the weather. I'm like, no, 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 no. Warn the people in this town to get out of there. And sure enough, I got kicked out of the chat. Nobody took it seriously, and the whole town is leveled. It's gone. It is it's just sad. So I am done with that. And now I'm handing my tricks and my tools over to you guys so you can help. All right. When you see this kind of activity and you're able to, you see the Ryan Hall and Andy, and they're studying the storms, right? And they're predicting the storms accurately because this thing's creating them, right? But you'll have an edge up on them. When you see this activity, you'll be like, oh, it's moving that way. It's moving that way. If any of you ever capture this stuff again or see this again, capture it, okay, for yourself. Because this is not the radar beam shooting out of one of our little ground-based radars. This is a spherical object that's up in the atmosphere, electromagnetically inducing weather. All right. Okay, hopefully you guys understand and you see what I'm talking about. Okay, and when you see this effect going on, you're going to know, severe weather. There's one of these spheroid things moving through. And then if you follow the edges, well, down here's where all the activity is. Watch as it comes up on a storm. It squashes the storm. So the leading edge pushes stuff down and squashes the activity. The activity actually roils up at the top part, down here at the bottom where air currents are flowing. See the edges of this ball moving through there? The turbulence going around the sides is kicking up the turbulence that's causing the thunderheads to grow. All right, it's important that you guys understand this effect, because coming up here soon, this might be the key that saves lives when we see something like this heading towards a major city like Chattanooga. And look, remember Chattanooga got spared, huh? I wonder why they got spared. Everything else around them, and they were inside the circle, not on the outside of it. It's almost like this dome, this circle, protected Chattanooga and got the other places. Okay. Let's see what happens Friday night. Okay, well, there's that. Now, that's already kind of getting into our spiritual report and stuff too. So, not only are we just seeing activity blossom out of nowhere, that could all change. All right, especially with energy coming in on the 11th to enhance this as well. Very complicated situation coming up because of all of these X flares that have been coming off the sun. All right. So now let's I know. Let's go right here. Something you guys need to know. All right, because I see some new faces here. And we need to cover something here for you guys. Oh. Let's just type it in. Wake up call. Here's your wake up call. Okay. This one right here.
Welcome back, folks. First off, I'd like to say thank you to a fellow YouTuber who showed me how to use this instrument so I could go back into the archives and find something I've been looking for.
And that would be Mark Wages. He helped me, learn how to use this instrument because when I found what I found, when I saw what I found, it wasn't on these instruments. It was on something else, and I needed to look up that date on the instrument. So I didn't know how to go into the archive, and at that time Wages World was doing little tutorials of how to use this instrument, and I watched just as he would click on something. Oh, I get it, there's the calendar, you can pick out your day, your year, and everything. So I went right back to the day, to the archives, to find this event that God showed me. And come on, you. Let's just cut through some of this and get right to the meat of it. Come on now. Right about there is good. Just please, Lord. All right, here we go.
The third flare. Boom. Here's our object right here. This looks like Nibiru. It's got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side. And that's not all.
Oh,
because behind that...
Hang on here. It's not full screening.
Is this big object right here. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma that is sucking off of our sun, going into this planet. Here's a damage ring or an impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here.
This thing is not cooperating. Lord, can we have some cooperation out of the computer, please? Jesus, please. What I was trying to get to here...
Going into this planet, here's a damage ring or an impact...
We'll just let it play for now. Just play.
Impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here. Run this backwards. So you can see it goes backwards. There's the second flare.
All right, let me see.
Back behind the sun, comes back. Boom.
All right, so right here. See these plasma wings kind of pulling off and pointing back? There's one on this side as well. It's kind of mixed in with the plasma there. But right here, you can make out the matching little wing coming off right here. All right. And I was looking at this going, wait a second. It's not what's glowing, it's what's dark. There's a dark patch right here, and all this plasma is surrounding a dark round object right here. And these wings are plasma wings that are coming off. Okay, so whatever you want to call it, Nibiru, Tiamat, whatever, I refer to this as the winged planet, all right, which the ancients referred to it as the winged planet because it makes it sound weird. A planet with wings? How could that be? Well, now that you look at this image, now you understand the winged planet, all right? There's also an electrical arc coming off. The North Pole of the sun is emitting this one. South Pole is emitting this one. This is an electrical circuit being completed right there. This thing is passing through this electric boundary right here. Your magnetic field line coming off of the sun, kind of looping around like that. This passed through it, made the connection, and everything, all the plasma or everything around it lit up. Then, play please. Lord, can we please have some cooperation on this computer? Well, we only got one page open.
Here's our object right here. Looks like Nibiru. It's got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side. And that's not all, because behind that is this big object right here. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma that is sucking off of our sun, going into this planet. Here's a damage ring or an impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here.
Okay, so another celestial body with a satellite, okay? Call it what you want. This had wings on it, so I'll just kind of, everybody knows it as Nibiru, so we call that one Nibiru. This thing being way bigger than our sun, and this is just the core. Okay, that's a stellar core, the dead part of a star, the solid, super dense iron core of a star right there, okay? Better known as a black hole. You can't go through a black hole. It's a big old solid sphere, not a hole, okay? Teaching you guys some real astrophysics, not Disneyland, not make believe. All right. So, and then you can see how the plasma has splashed over this spherical object right here. The reason for the shape of this CME right here is because it's hitting a spherical object and splashing over the top of it. Now, if you're having trouble seeing that image, okay, so we're looking at a three-dimensional event on a two-dimensional screen. It's a little hard for some people to see it, so I did a drawing of it as an example, so it'll be a little more digestible. Okay, so there's your big object right there. The conduit of plasma is slamming into it and spreading out in a circular fashion. Boom. And at this point, that's the edge of the spreading. It's the damage ring. The whole circle is the impact zone. Okay, so plasma is being sucked off of the sun. It slams into the surface, spreads out and goes around, spreads out and goes around it like that. All right. And here, here's Nibiru out in front with its plasma wings, and I have a feeling that the gravity of this thing back behind it is pulling stuff off of this other object in front. This is almost like debris being pulled off that ignites and plasmifies and makes the wings. And I believe this is probably, ions and particles that are being sucked back to this black hole. It's actually pulling stuff off of it back towards this because of the mass of it. Okay. So this other stellar core out front is, still has matter that's being pulled off, ions, whatever, small little electrons, whatever kind of particulates. And then they get electrified, they glow, and those wings glow. And you're seeing that right there. Okay. Now, this is what God showed me. All right. This is the symbol. This circle with the barbell and a bigger circle has been stamped into the fields and crop circles. That symbol is all over different tribes throughout history, different carvings and rock art and stuff like that have portrayed this event, this symbol. They drew it as a symbol with a circle, a barbell, and a bigger circle. They also did this one too several times in the fields, encoded in the crop circles. All right. So there's your sign in the sun. That's a sign. And in Revelation 12, it says there was a great sign in heaven, the woman draped with the sun and the moon at her feet, the crown of 12 stars. Then another sign appeared. Whoops, wait a second. There were two signs at Revelation 12. The woman, and the other sign was the dragon. And in the Revelation, it says, then another sign appeared. The dragon stood in front of the woman, ready to devour the child, right? Well, the dragon stood 13 days in front, or 13 days before the woman on the 23rd. The woman was September 23rd. This is the 10th. This is 13 days before the Revelation 12 star alignment. The other sign appeared in front of her. All these experts were looking for the dragon after the star alignment, and they all missed it. Every single one of them missed it because it happened before. The dragon stood before the woman. It stood in front of the woman. It stood before the 23rd. It stood in front of the 23rd. It stood on the 10th, which is 13 days before the 23rd. Okay, there is Nibiru, Nemesis. I call it Nemesis because, well, it is kind of our nemesis. It's so big, it's bigger than the sun. This white circle represents the size of your sun, by the way, not the black occulter. And you can see the conduit plasma it's sucking off of it. Okay, so this thing is raping the sun. It's stealing energy out of it, causing these CMEs to splash over it. Okay, I think you guys are understanding that effect right there, right? Everybody on the same page with me now? Okay, there's your great sign in heaven. There's your dragon. And God showed this to me. He's like, Brian, man, you saw the woman. I said, yeah, I saw the woman. He goes, yeah, but everybody missed the dragon. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Well, here's the dragon. Everybody missed it. We all saw the woman, but everybody missed the dragon. So he showed it to me so I could bring it to you. And this thing matches the definition of many different objects. It could be a neutron star. It could be a black hole. It could be a red or a brown dwarf. Its characteristics. The characteristics of this object match a lot of different objects. All right. So no telling exactly what it's made out of, but I'm telling you it's dark matter. All right. You can't see it with the naked eye because light doesn't reflect off of it. The only reason why you're seeing it here is because plasma has draped over it. It's so much plasma hitting it that it can't absorb it all. So some is draping over it. All right. And let me do something. Well, in the main picture, when I first saw this, it was so up close and in your face, you couldn't see the circle here. All you saw was this and the sun and this thing squirting out. So imagine if you had this square of that you're used to seeing. right? So there's no way you could see the whole picture. But then as you pull back, all of a sudden, you can see it. And it was so close up in your face, I couldn't see it for the longest time. And I was struggling with this. He's like, keep looking, keep looking. And I'm like, I'm looking, I don't see it. So like, think the big picture. And I'm thinking, okay, think the big picture. Oh, I know, zoom in. Yeah, so I tried zooming in on it. Well, that didn't work because I was already too close up in it. Finally, I got frustrated and I heard him say, take a break. So I walked away to take a break and I left my cursor sitting on this red line. Well, this little pop up actually takes this whole page and compresses it down smaller. It wasn't until I came back from having a cigarette that I saw the pop up. I wasn't looking at this, I saw it in the pop up, squeezed down and compressed so tightly that it was clear as a bell. And that's when I went, oh, wait a second. We're too close up in it. Zoom out. Think the big picture, not zoom in. Zoom out. You see the bigger picture from back further. So you zoom out, and I zoomed out, and boom, there it is. Okay. And a lot of this stuff that is happening all around you is so close up in your face you can't see it. You need to zoom out and have a perspective from further back. You need to see that from a couple dimensions back, not dimensions as in the alien dimension or as in size, scale, dimension, proportion, that dimension. Those are dimensions, not your. Oh boy, science is just crazy sometimes. But, anyways, back to this. Hopefully, you guys understand. You can see this. It's the real deal. It's not fake. It's NASA captured it. I don't even think they know they captured it. They probably do now because it's hard to find this frame anymore. All right, so God showed that to me, and ever since this day, ever since September 10th, 2017, my life turned upside down, inside out, backward, went forward, everything just the direct opposite of everything. My whole life just went the direct opposite in a weird way, and all kinds of paranormal activity started happening to me, like this kind of stuff. So let me go back. We're going to pull up another one here. You guys still chilling with me? Good. Just be patient. My computer's a little possessed, I think. Lord, can we please have some, yes, can we please have some cooperation with this? Sorry, I have to pray a lot during my show. You'll get used to it. Meanwhile, while we're jammed up there, I guess, kind of stuck on this frame while my computer decides to do what it's going to do here. Very important event, okay? This object, it's not like a one-time event. This thing is out there, and it seems to be rotating and coming back and rotating and coming back, and we keep interacting with it. I think it's because it's more massive, all right? It has more mass than our sun, all right? If this is bigger than our sun, there's no way it's rotating around our sun. Our sun is rotating around it. This thing would be the the center of the solar system with its sheer mass. All right, so it's more likely that our sun and our solar system are rotating around that, and we keep coming by it. We slingshot around it and go back out, and about a week later, we round off and come back in and make another pass. Sometimes we pass it on the left, sometimes we pass it on the right, and there's other objects around it, and as we plow through space towards that thing, get all that off there. It's more likely that we are orbiting it, and that's why it keeps interacting. It's not going, it didn't make a pass and leave. We're going around it. All right, so now that we got that there, I want to take you back here. Please, Lord, let this work. Why is my computer being so iffy tonight? Now, I'm going to do a kind of chronological thing here for you guys. Hopefully you enjoy this. I know a lot of you are waiting for the reading, but we can do this as well. Now, Howdy. At this point, this is when paranormal activity starts happening to me. And, well, when real stuff happens to you, not fake stuff, you know, like all the stuff that you hear, those stories, a bunch of people embellishing the truth. When something real happens to you, it is so disturbing. It causes a post-traumatic stress syndrome. Okay. Imagine if, well, I'm not going to say it. Let's just play it. Now, this is security camera footage from my security camera in the lower garage. This is where most of the activity took place, was down in this lower garage. So you can see we're still in the garage with our same display right here. And this was actually captured the day before the other picture, but I hadn't found it for years later until I was digging around through my, my old pictures and stuff, and went even further back to see if I'd missed anything, and I captured this one. And we're gonna zoom into this streak right up here. Just real quick, timestamp on this image was October 4th of 2017. Just 11 days after the Revelation 12 star alignment. The woman was pregnant. She was about to give birth. 11 days after the alignment, this showed up on my security camera. Play this. Which is, security camera, by the way, is admissible as evidence in a court of law. In fact, they kind of prefer that you have some security footage, because then it's easier to identify the person. Lord, could we please have the play button work on this video? Please, God. Please, Jesus. We're trying to do the show here. We're getting some interference. Can you help? There we go. Just bear with me for a second here. Now, hopefully, you can see that we have a lady's profile here. Here's her eye, here's her forehead, her snub little nose, here's the bottom jaw right here. What are you doing? Just bear with me for a second here. How the heck did that happen? Now, hopefully, you can see that we have a lady's profile here. Here's her eye, here's her forehead, her snub little nose, here's the bottom jaw. She's smiling. She's looking down and she's holding a baby. And here's the baby's head right here. Here's the face, the back of the head. Here's her arm cupped around like this. And she's holding the baby. Now I'm going to run this through the filter real quick, and it's going to enhance it, but a little bit too much. But see, now you can really make out her profile a lot better and see her face. And her headdress is coming over and going down back behind her. And you can still make out the baby's head right here. And maybe if I pull back a little bit, there we go. And this was captured on October 4th. So this was about 11 days after the Revelation 12 sign. All this stuff started happening to me just prior to the Revelation 12 sign, and then right after it. So it said the woman was about to give birth. Well, it looks like maybe she gave birth, and here's the little baby being caught up to God. Born in my manger, or my lower garage. Yep, it's a lot better there. Hopefully you guys can see this a little bit better now than before. We'll undo the filter real quick just so you can get the original. Now you can see the baby's head just a little bit better. You can make out his little ear. And then we'll put the filter back in again. And there we go. There's your Revelation 12 baby being born right there in my garage, caught on my security camera. So that's it for now. My next video, I've been capturing demons and Satan. Come on. As well, and I'm going to bring that stuff to you too. Okay. I don't really glorify him, and I don't like to give him too much attention or whatever, but it is part of this, and you guys do need to see this. So my next ones will be dealing with the other side, the demonic side. So until then, I love you all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye. What is jamming up my computer? Come on, Lord, please help this thing. Alright. I got more here. If this thing would... What is going on? Get that out of there. Take this out of there. Get these other pages out of there. So, bear with me here. I'm dealing with some issues with this computer. Why? Why is this jammed up? Lord, can we please have the computer unjammed, please? Hmm. Huh. Alright, I guess we're gonna be waiting here for a second. And while we are, I'm gonna dim this down. Or maybe not, because the computer's not reacting. Come on, please, Lord. Can we have some cooperation out of this computer, please? I don't get what's holding this up. Okay. What was that? All right, bear with me. I don't know what's going on here. Lord, please bring this back. What's going on? Well, ain't that something? It just went black. What's going on? All right, well, you know what I'm going to have to do is see if this works for a second. Wow, absolutely no response. Look at that, you guys. All right, you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to shut it off, I think, for a second. And I don't want to end the stream. So why don't we all just take 5 minutes, go to the bathroom, get yourself some snacks, get reorganized as we... I don't get it. Why did I just shut down? All right, yeah, give me 5 minutes here to get this rebooted. We're just going to kind of stay live. Now's a good time to get your snacks. Like I said, get situated. I'm going to go check on my chat while this is doing its thing. And we'll try to pick up here in a few minutes where we left off. Because it's important. We got lots to cover. And you never know. This might be the last show. If we lose internet or power or something or whatever happens with our impact. Okay, so I'm going to give it all I got here just in case it's the last show. So be patient as this thing reboots. Like I said, go take a break. I'll be back in about a couple minutes. let's see here. Did that ever come up? Why is your... What is going on with this thing, man? So, meantime, while we're waiting on this stupid computer here, I just checked the chat and thanks some of you people. Surfer Girl, Scratch. All right, good to see Scratch here. Michelle. Oh, good. You guys are chatting away. Okay, good. Here, let's try. Please, Lord, let this work. Spiritual warfare. They don't like me doing what I'm doing here. Now, come on now, reboot. Okay, so, thank you guys. Every once in a while, little words of encouragement help. I've been fighting against a lot of people. A lot of powers that be don't like all this stuff, so we're gonna have to just endure for a second here. I'm willing to keep fighting and keep going here, so just be patient here. I got some stuff here we could read in a moment while we're waiting here. I'll kind of cut to the spiritual part here while this computer is... What is going on? Huh. Why won't my computer reboot? You see this, you guys? It won't even reboot. Well, isn't that nice? All right, let's do some reading. Here, what other images can we look at? Or put something else up there. Yeah. Put this up there. No, that won't stay there, dang it. I'm looking for something to prop up there to look at or something in the meantime. Oh, I know. Here's this image I drew too, okay? Also, something that I observed was, this is the moon, okay? It was a half moon that night. You could barely see the shaded part of the moon. So this is just a reference of the shaded part of the moon. There's the lit part of the moon. And there was a tiny little circle, like a little bite, missing out of the round part of the moon. And I'm like, what is going on there? It was a half moon. But down at the bottom, it wasn't a full circle. There was a little arch biting into this arch. And I thought, how odd. And then when these, see how they're kind of off center? When it totally went straight vertical and lined up, this actually silhouetted and lit up a little bit around the edges. And all the coyotes in the area went nuts. This is out in the desert, okay? And as soon as this lined up perfectly and put a silhouette around this black, it like bent the light and put a little glowing ring around this. And a half moon with a glowing ring around it, all the coyotes went nuts. And I was like, whoa, what the hell was that? And then I could see later, once, only lasted for like a second there. And then you could see that there was a dark black circle in the sky right there. So I drew this picture. I didn't have a camera. I was in an institution at the time, and all I had access to were some colored pencils. So I drew that. That's the same time as I drew this, and I drew this from memory, okay, from seeing the sign. And those are some of the other things that I've captured that you might see going on in your sky as well. So next time when you look up at the moon, see if you notice like a bite or at the edge. Sometimes, it's not every time, but sometimes when this object's near the moon, it'll put a little arc opposite the arc going on the moon. So that's another little thing I've seen every once in a while. And these dark objects, they're they're interacting with our atmosphere. They're interacting with the sun. They're here. Okay, these objects are here, and they bend light, appearing to be see-through. Okay, when light comes from the back side of it, it bends the light, wraps it all the way around it, and makes a focal point on this side of it, right in the center. So you don't see this object, you're seeing through it, and you're seeing what's behind it, the light that's being wrapped around behind it. And wow, I guess computers just not going to cooperate tonight. Are we plugged in? What's going on? That. Well, I guess we're done with the images and stuff for the night, and I was gonna continue on with that, but apparently the Lord maybe doesn't want me doing that, so we'll do some reading and wrap it up, I guess. What's something? I know. Here we go. Here's a good image. All right, now you know where my avatar comes from. It's me watching over the city, the world, down below, okay? From a perspective that's up above. Okay, remember I showed you the face that's out by the moon? Face, moon, okay? I have a perspective from up there looking down. I can see things from further back. That's what I'm showing you, is also things from further back, from a different dimension, right? You literally have to like step out of your body and take a quarter-mile hike behind you. If you could do that, if you could take your eyes like out of your head and go a quarter-mile back and turn around and look, you would have a perspective from further back than where you're standing. You're from your physicality. So a lot of the spiritual realm is in a different dimension. It's further out, it's further back, it's too big up close and in your face to see. You have to zoom back out and compress down the image in order to see stuff a little clearer. All right, so there you go. That's my avatar. Multiple meanings in this avatar. Okay, it's the bisected symmetry of the face. Okay, three-dimensional spherical object. It's more than just an object. It has a consciousness. Okay, see, it's smiling. It's not growling, or it's smiling. Okay, now we got all these CMEs coming in. We got a lot of anxiety. A lot of people are, scared right now. Okay, that's kind of why those images were going to be important in tonight's show. And I don't get why my computer is just done for the night. So, a lot's going on, and it's important that you understand what's going on is biblical, okay? It's out of your control. It's part of the process. You're a participant in the process, okay? So, what's really happening is, well, it's part of the design, and it's not designed to hurt you. It's more because, well, it's to make you stronger, right? So, while you're looking at that, I wish I had the better image of Jesus in the clouds at this moment. And maybe if we get some luck here in a little while, we'll try to pull that up as well. But while you're sitting here and we're looking at that, and you're thinking about a consciousness that's above the earth, looking down from above, watching over you, okay? So you take a couple of deep breaths with me. Crack my neck. All right. Relax a little bit. Unwind a little bit, okay? Put all that stuff on the back burner. Remember, it's all part of the process, and I want you to relax. I want you to relax, my child, and know that I am in control. Let these words wash over you repeatedly, like soothing waves on a beautiful beach, assuring you of my endless love. See the smile? Okay, endless love. Okay, I am in control. Let those words wash over you repeatedly like these soothing waves, assuring you that everything's okay. All right. So when you're tripping out and you see all this stuff coming from the sun and all kinds of calamity going on, recognize that it's part of the process and you can still, at this moment, relax. You're with me. You're in my presence. I am in control. Those words should, if you're having problems, let those words keep repeating over and over, repeatedly washing over you like soothing waves. Okay, I am in control. It's okay. It's part of the process. When you understand that you're kind of living in a movie, you're a real life actor in a movie, and the script to the movie is the Bible, the scriptures, right? It tells you the script of the movie. You know how the movie ends, right? You're an actor in the movie. There's an audience. There's an audience in the sky. All right, all these faces in the clouds and stuff that I show you, that audience in the sky is much like an audience in a movie theater watching you on the screen in a real life movie following a real script. We all know how the story ends, much like our action movies, right? Everybody likes the good action movie, and you can't wait until the end of the movie with all the destruction and scenes and stuff, right? All the drama and the action. Well, here's real life drama, real life action, real life characters in the script. So when you start looking at it from that perspective, it helps soothe you a little bit when you understand that you're almost like in a matrix, okay? Like the Matrix movie is trying to portray that you are outside. There's an outside world to what you perceive. Okay, so it's good that you wrap that around your head and understand that when I'm reading this stuff to you. And maybe we could do a reboot, maybe. Meantime, let's get back to this here. I got some stuff for you here. Now, um, it's important that you remember that I'm in control and to let those words wash over you and soothe you, okay? Because you waste a lot of time and you waste a lot of energy trying to figure out things before their time has come, okay? We're wasting a lot of time and a lot of energy stressing about stuff that you don't really know exactly what's going to happen. It's fear of the unknown, it's fear of the future, right? We're future tripping, aren't we? If we're tripping about the future. So let these words soothe you. Relax. I am in control. Quit wasting your time and energy. Meanwhile, I'm working to prepare the way before you with these videos in this show. Okay, so be on the lookout for some wonderful surprises, circumstances that only I could have orchestrated. Okay, so what happens when these big old CMEs come in and everybody's freaking? It's going to be a Carrington event, and something different happens and blocks those CMEs, and nothing happens. What will happen then? People will go, whoa, there's something else out there, right? So just because we have all this stuff going on, you still can relax and be assured that I am in control. Let that wash over you. Be on the lookout for some surprises, like my computer crashing like this in the middle of the show. Surprise. Remember that you are loved. You're my beloved, okay? See that smile on my face up there? Okay, I love you. You're my beloved. And remember, I am on your side and I want what is best for you. Okay, you see CME's coming for you? Relax. I'm on your side. I want what is best for you. Okay, someone who is loved by a generous, powerful person can expect to receive an abundance of blessings. You are loved by the King of the universe, and I have good plans for you. As you look ahead into the unknown future, relax now in the knowledge of who you are, the one I love. Okay? So, and you recognize who I am. So, as you future trip into the unknown future, relax. Relax in the knowledge of who you are. You're the beloved. And this is like the third time this computer wouldn't reboot. Let me try something different here. Oh, maybe sit down like that. No. I'm sorry. I'm kind of determined to get this computer back up because I have so much more to show you. Interesting. Now it even won't shut off right. There you go. All right. Let's try unplugging that for a second. Let the whole thing totally shut down. And then we'll set that up back there, I guess. All right. So, you know what we can do? Hopefully this isn't too scary for you. But about time you guys start to consider this image there, okay? It's important that you understand the spiritual realm and the spiritual affliction that you yourself have. Okay, you have the capacity for good and evil. All right, that's the angel on one shoulder, the devil on the other, saying, do it, do it. No, don't do it, don't do it. Okay, so that's your spiritual warfare going on inside your head. This is a war on for your mind, and I'm here to help you with your mind. Okay. You are loved. You're loved by the King of the universe. Okay, and I have good plans for you. So as you look ahead into the unknown future, relax in the knowledge of who you are. You're the one I love. Now, there's people that hate me. Okay, well, they have to deal with that side. But the people that love me, well, they get to enjoy. Okay, so that's where you get to relax in the knowledge right there. Understanding that right there, that you are okay. I'm not going to let go of you. I got you I hold you by your right hand. Okay, so I'm on the inside of you, on the right hand side of your brain, which we're trying to reactivate more. So as you future trip, quit tripping and relax in the knowledge of who you are. You're the one I love. Cling to my hand and go forward with confidence while you and I walk together along the path of life. Your trust in me will fill your heart with joy and your mind with peace. Okay? Knowing that you're not on the naughty list, that you're on the good list, you're a good believer. You respect the sacrifice. Okay, this is a matter of respect too. That's why the fear of God. Well, you don't fear the nice guy who's passive and very soft spoken and very gentle and generous. Well, he'll get taken advantage of. What respect comes out of fear that possibly have the power to, control where you go. So actually, you kind of control where you go, don't you? I'm just giving you the knowledge. So relax in that knowledge of who you are and know that you're the one I love. If you're here at this channel, you're hearing my voice and you're seeing my face, you're the one I love. The people who don't respond to this information and reject this, well, they're going to see something else. Okay, now, cling to my hand, remember, as we go forward with confidence, and while you and I walk together along the path of life, your trust in me will fill your heart with joy and your mind with peace. Okay, this should fill your mind with peace, knowing even that there's CMEs coming and there's going to be earthquakes and there's going to be all this problems. It still does not change that you are the one I love. None of that stuff changes that fact. Okay, and now I want you to know that even though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace be removed. Okay? My covenant of peace with you will never be removed. As long as you love me, it can't be removed. That's all. That depends on you. You're the one that removes it. If you change your mind and decide to go demonic on me, well, that was your decision. So even with CMEs coming, earthquakes possible, we might see tsunamis. We might see some very, very, well, we all kind of understand at this channel what we might see coming out, but don't future trip about that. Even though you might see that stuff and the mountains might shake and the hills be removed, it doesn't change my unfailing love for you. Okay, and hold on to that. You're gonna need that. Hold on to that I love you. Nothing on earth seems as enduring or immovable as soaring majestic mountains, but when you stand on their heights, breathing in that rarefied air. Remember I was telling you guys, you breathe the rarefied air. You sure do. Okay. So we're at the mountaintops and we're breathing rarefied air, and you can almost smell eternity. That's why I want that other image back up, because that's showing you real eternity. This is just a painting. Now, give me some. Please, Lord, let this computer come back to life. Please, can we get everything out of there and restart fresh and pull up some images for your loving audience here, Lord. All right. Meantime, we're putting. We can leave it like that. You understand the bisymmetry of your brain. One half of your brain is concrete sequential. So people that are right-handed like to do things, in order. They're very concrete. That means they, the first priority is first on the list. Second priority, second, third most, third. All right. So they do things orderly. They have lists, and then they do them. Number one, then number two. There's no way you're going to step out of order. So right brain people, or people that are right-handed, are left brain, are concrete sequential, very orderly. Other people that are left-handed or right-brained are more are random abstract. Okay, they will take a list, and the most important might be number 5. It could be number 7. All right, and then they got their list of 1 through 10. Well, a concrete sequential will start at number 1. And once one's done, then they move on to number 2 and complete that one. And once that's done, then they move on to the next, right? So somebody else who's random abstract will work differently. They will going on here? They will, they have different thinking patterns, okay? They're more the artist, more art. Why is this thing just not even rebooting or nothing? Control, Alt, Delete. Amazing how this whole computer is just like fried now. It won't unjam or reboot or nothing. Okay, well, I guess that's because I've been through too much adversity today to let this bother me. I'm gonna continue on with the reading now, okay? So even though we got all this stuff coming, the mountains be shaken, the hills be removed, still doesn't change my love for you, okay? That's a different thing. Nothing on earth seems as enduring or immovable as these soaring, majestic mountains, and when you stand on their heights, breathing in that rarefied air, you can almost smell eternity. Yet my love and my peace are even more enduring than the greatest mountain on earth. Okay? So, my peace and my love, even the mountains will fall, you still have that. It's more enduring than the greatest mountain. So, I want you to wrap your head around that and think deeply about my unfailing love. Okay? Everything on this planet's going to fail. You put your trust in anything on this planet, you're going to see it fail. There's only one thing that will not fail, and that is my love for you. And aren't you glad? You should be glad. Now, when you wrap your head around that, it's a lot. Unfailing just goes on forever. It's forgiving even some of the weirdest things that you think of. All right. So, one of the meanings of unfailing is unexhaustible. Okay. It's unexhaustible. So, no matter how needy you are or how many times you fail me, my supply of love for you will never run low. Okay, so no matter how needy you are or how many times you fail me, my supply of love for you will never run low. Okay, it's a very simple concept, really. For parents out there in the audience, it's very similar for you with your kid, for your child. No matter how needy your child is or how many times you see your son or daughter fail, it never changes your love for them. And your love for your child never runs low, right? That's the bond. It's the same love a parent has for a child. I have that same love for you, my child. Okay? So no matter how needy or how many times you fail, it doesn't change. My love for you will never run low. Another meaning for the word unfailing is constant. Okay? I want you to wrap your mind around constant. That means constant. Every second of your existence, even in the future. Okay? My supply of love for you will never run low. It's unfailing. It's constant. Okay? I do not love you more on days when you perform well, nor do I love you less on days when you fail miserably. Okay? So quit judging that part. You can quit tripping about that right now. Quit tripping about that. I do not love you more on days when you perform well, nor do I love you less when you fail badly. I myself am your peace. So live close to me so you can enjoy this supernatural peace. Come freely into my presence, even when you're feeling bad about yourself. Remember who I am, the Lord who has compassion on you. Okay? Compassion. That should make you feel a little relieved. Oh, compassion is not the bad guy, but that's for, matter of respect for people in power that are, well, disrespect. Anyways, there was that quick little reading, and boy, I hope my computer isn't fried, because it won't even reboot. It just went right to black screen, nothing, no nothing. So it's done. Maybe I got hacked. Who knows? But for now, this might be our last show. But I think we're going to make it through these CMEs just fine. We will see some, the side effects, the earthquakes, the volcanoes. Okay, so now you know what to expect. You're not going to die. Even if you did, you're going to be going to heaven anyway. So, what? Maybe it'd be a good thing if it ended. Either way, it does not change my love for you. You guys in this audience have gotten to know me. We've built a relationship together, haven't we? That's what it's about. It's a relationship, not religion. Religion ruined it all. It was always about a relationship, okay? And your relationship with me inside your head as well. Okay, I'm trying to teach you techniques to deal with stress, to deal with anxiety, especially with all these events coming up. So relax. You are my child. I am in control. Let this assure you. Okay, let it soothe you like waves on a beach. My love is unfailing. It's constant. It's um, it's enduring. Um, you guys are right now standing on the heights, breathing in that rarefied air. Okay, I would show you that picture of the mountaintop with Jesus over it right now, but we can't do that at this moment. So you are breathing in that rarefied air, and you can smell eternity. You can see it coming, right? You see the script, you know the movie, you know your part now, you're a real life actor in the movie. You're trying to accomplish as many spiritual achievements as you can, okay? And helping people along the way, reflecting me, the good, to others, and brightening up their day, okay? Eventually, you will lose this half of the affliction, and you will be whole and divine. Other people will lose this half of the affliction, and they will be evil. Okay, they'll lose that battle in their mind. You are loved by the King of the universe. That was all I really had to read for you guys. Picked out. It was going to be more of a show with the videos there that we started into. And I just don't understand why that thing's not turning on. Well, maybe I'll shut her down for like an hour or let the thing just chill overnight. Let me go through here and see if I can find anything else for you. Yeah. Here we go. So, when all if something goes down and you're tripping and you see these big huge headlines and you're starting to feel that anxiety, remember that your strength and joy are in my dwelling place. So the closer to me you live, the stronger and more joyful you will be. Invite me to permeate your moments with my presence. This helps you view people from a positive perspective. So, whenever you're around someone who irritates you, don't focus on that person's flaws. Instead, gaze at me through the eyes of your heart, and those irritants will wash over you without harming you or hurting others either. So, when someone irritates you, don't focus on the person. Don't focus on the person or their flaws. They got the affliction, okay? They know not what they do. So that's where your forgiveness comes in. It when you forgive that person, you're no longer irritated by them. See how that works? So if you want to so when you're around someone who irritates you, don't focus on their flaws. Remember, it's a test from me, and it's coming out of that person, this test. So instead, gaze at me through the eyes of your heart. So when you see that person that irritates you, see that it's me testing you, and the moment you forgive, that irritation goes away. All right, it's easy stuff, but hard to do. Simple concepts, but very hard to do. So we practice them. Okay. A lot of the step work is you put into practice each day of your life. It's a new way of living. Okay. It makes you more positive. You have more positive perspective. Okay. So when people irritate you, don't focus on their flaws. Remember, they're human. Instead, see the humanness in them. You see the me coming out of them to help you grow. So gaze at me through the eyes of your heart, and those irritants will wash over you without harming you or hurting the other person. Because most times somebody irritates you, you want to lash out at them and go, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" Right? Because I do. And I catch myself doing it all the time. And I got, "Lord, please, I'm doing it again. Please help me." And it goes away. And I forgive that person. They know not what they do. And sometimes I have to say it 2 or 3 times. "Okay, Lord, I'm trying to forgive that person. They know not what they do. Help me, Jesus. Help me forgive that person. They know not what they do." And pretty soon it sinks in, and you are no longer irritated by that person. Because it's not the person's fault, it's sin's fault. Judging other people is a sinful snare that draws you away from me. So when somebody's irritating you, you're judging that person. So judging other people is a sinful snare. Okay, those are the snares we're trying to avoid. So to avoid that sinful snare, don't judge other people, because that draws you away from me. Let me judge them. They know not what they do. All right. How much better is it to be joyful in me instead of irritated by other people? It's a lot easier to be joyful in me than to be irritated by other people. And now a lot of this is opposite work, okay? So a lot of the concepts are, well, you see your opposites, your afflictions and your adversity don't make you weaker, they make you stronger. So you see the opposites and how they work. So we're trying to get you to understand that. So judging other people becomes this sinful snare, and it draws you away from me. And really ask yourself, when you're doing that, how much better is it to be joyful in me instead of irritated with the other person? Okay. So how much better is it to be joyful in me, your Savior? The more you focus on me, the more I can strengthen you. In fact, I am your strength. So the more you focus on me, the more I strengthen you, the more you focus on me, and we do this exchange. And I keep strengthening you and strengthening you. And every time you start to stress and they have anxiety, you come and you look at that image of Jesus in the clouds that I keep showing you guys that I want up right now. But it's still important to understand this part too, okay? So the more you focus on me, the more I strengthen you, In fact, I am your strength, and you can train your mind to stay aware of me even when other things are demanding your attention. I created you with an amazing brain that is able to be conscious of several things at once. So create a permanent place in me, in your mind, and my light will shine on all your moments. Okay. Again, with the left brain, right brain thing here. Again, right brain is the right concrete sequential. Right-handed people, left brain. Sorry, and they like to do the list 1 through 10. Right. Well, a left-handed person will have a. They won't even make a list. All right. That's not even part of them in the first place. They don't make lists. All right. So a left-handed person has an abstract, random way of thinking. They're the musicians, the artists, a lot of philosophers. That's just a different avenue of thinking. So there's dominant sides of the brain. Okay. So some people are right-brained and some people are left-brain dominant. Unfortunately, I have this affliction where I use both. And I can take a list of 1 through 10, and I will start 1 and start number 3. And while 1 and 3 are working, I'll go back and get number 2 started and number 4 started. And while 2 and 4 are working, I'll go back, check 1 and 3, make sure they're working well. Okay, everything's going fine with them. Then I'll go down and I'll start 5 and 6. Then I will go back, once 5 and 6 have gotten rolling and started, I'll go back up, finish 1 and 3. They're done. I'll go back down, start 7 and 9, go back up, finish 2 and 4. They're done. Now I can, address number 5 and 6. They're halfway done. And then I'll start number 10. And by the time I've gotten all of those done, I'll do 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8, 10. And then by the time 7 and 9 are finishing up, I'm doing, I already got 8 and 10 almost wrapped up, and they'll finish up. It won't be 9 and 10, it'll be 8, the 8th thing on the list and the 10th thing on the list. And I can get the whole list done, all 10 things done on the list, in the time it takes a right brain or a right-handed person to do the first thing on the list. So I can accomplish 10 things while a normal person has accomplished just 1. And it's a way of thinking. It's a new way of using your brain and ordering things, yet still working them randomly with a semi-order to them, still half randomness. And I'm able to complete a list of 1 through 10, like I said, in the time it takes either a left-handed person or a right-handed person just to complete one task. Okay. And it can be done. And it's by using both hemispheres of your brain, understanding how it works too. Okay. Not everybody is left-handed. Not everybody is right-handed. Some people are ambidextrous. It's usually the people that are ambidextrous that have this affliction that where you can use both hemispheres of your brain simultaneously. Not everybody can. All right. Well, everybody can. It's practice though. It usually comes natural to people that are ambidextrous. Now, ambidextrous, it really means that you're utilizing both equally. You're not, one side's not dominant than the other, okay? So that kind of goes along with your spirituality too. A lot of the right-handed people, well, you were left brain. And a lot of you left-handed people, they're already peaceful. You're artists. You don't care about the list. You just randomly get stuff done anyway, but you're peaceful. All right. And here's the other side that's like, it's got to be number 1 first we will not touch number 2 until number 1 is totally complete. All right. So you got to fight these thought patterns in your head until you realize that you have a filter in there. And the filter in your head, kind of, once you point it in a certain direction, will either anchor your thinking in this direction or anchor your thinking in that direction as well. I mean, you want to, if you thrive on violence and you watch a lot of destruction and violence and stuff on TV, well, uh, garbage in, garbage out, much like a computer. If you absorb a bunch of violence and just negative, 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 you're going to have a negative mindset. That's why it's important you come over here and we do this spiritual work and you understand what's going on inside you, and you can choose to be positive. And it's by simple prayer, by simple recognition, understanding that it's an affliction that you're going through. Um, you technically are a little God, knowing both good and from evil. Okay, and if you know good from evil, and you're a little God, and we're on this planet that sustains life, has all these beautiful creatures in it. And I was telling you guys the name of, well, it is what you name it, so you can name it anything, but the real name of Earth is Eden. You're in the Garden of Eden. Earth, this realm, with all the plants and trees, garden. So you guys call it Earth, I call it Eden. You guys call it Tiamat, you can call it Nibiru, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Doesn't change the fact of what it is. Okay, so it's important how you perceive things. Just because it has a name and somebody else has a different name for it doesn't change the fact that it is or isn't. We need to get down to the nitty gritty and quit arguing over, trying to be the one who's always right. Okay, that's step 10. When we're wrong, we promptly admit it. Okay, so instead, when you gaze at me through the eyes of your heart, those irritants will wash over you without harming you. Judging other people is that sinful snare, so it's better just to be joyful in me instead of judging them. The more you focus on me, the more I strengthen you. I am your strength, and you can train your mind to stay aware of me even when things are demanding your attention. I created you with an amazing brain. It's able to be conscious of several things at once. So, in that amazing brain I made of yours, I want you to dig around either on the left side, right side, however you're going to do it. I want you to dig around at your brain in there and create a permanent place for me in your mind. When you create a permanent place for me in your mind, my light will shine on all of your moments. You will be able to see much fuller, deeper, richer into life. You will see your own afflictions for what they are, challenges, and you will rise to the challenge. Okay, even though things look scary, I refuse to be intimidated or scared. If I die, I'm going to heaven anyways. You're sending me to my maker, so what's the problem here? Got nothing to fear. So, regardless of what happens here, you still have nothing to fear. Nothing can separate you from my love. All right. Sorry the computer broke down tonight. I'm very disappointed. I wanted to do this possibly last show here with some beautiful imagery and stuff that we usually use. And this one's, it's hard to look at because you have to recognize some issues. All right. And I'm trying to be as straightforward about this as I can. It's been really hard to do this, all right? This affliction that I deal with is, it's you guys are getting a taste of it too, okay? And I've already went ahead of you and done this and took all the notes and everything, so now I can help you along your path. See, I've already went before you, so now I can be with you and help you along. All right. What else is it working on here, Lord? I had so much tonight. Why did it do that? Why did the computer shut down? You know what? It's probably good that the computer shut down because I still have more to show you. So therefore, there won't be any kind of computer blackouts or internet because I will be back tomorrow with more to show you. Okay? So regardless, I will be back. And regardless, it doesn't change my love for you. Regardless, you're on your way to heaven. Okay? You see that it's love that's the key here, right? We're in a battle in our own minds between love and hate. And sometimes we accidentally hate people, we judge them, they irritate us. But then you got to realize, just like Jesus said, forgive them, they know not what they do. And this audience has seen the other realm. You've seen the clouds, you have higher knowledge, right? So you know, um, you know what to do. You're to shine the light on in the darkness. Another thing about this avatar too, I want you to think about that avatar. What brings light in the darkness? In the middle of the night when everything's all dark, the moon brings light in the darkness, doesn't it? That's why my symbol is the moon, too, because when things are dark, the moon lights them up. So, and you guys have nothing to fear. It's people that are on my bad side, people that, well, they're part of the process. See, they chose this side because they're here to strengthen you. They're the tares, you're the wheat, right? Well, how are you to be challenged and strengthened without some kind of opposition to fight against? As Christians now, I want you to grasp this concept as well. You're like a superhero. The whole world is against you. As a Christian, every country right now is against you. The media, everybody, right? The military, police. You're you're the rebel. Did you know that the Christians are the rebels? Didn't think of it that way, but back in the old days, the term Christian was not a good term. That was like a shamed word. You're one of those guys that follows that nut job Jesus, huh? They labeled you a Christian, and it was like a nasty tag to be labeled with. Well, times have changed now, but it still hasn't changed the spiritual aspect of it. Okay, and oh man, I got notes. Can we take a peek at notes or something? Why is this thing not gonna? All right, maybe we'll have some luck this time. I was looking at some of these notes. Situational awareness, and also I came across a gal who, well, she was suffering from situational illness. Her circumstances in her life, she had never addressed any of the issues in her life, never done any kind of step work or anything like that, and let her issues pile up so bad, she was stressing on a level to where she was having seizures. And here's this young lady having a seizure, and I'm over to rescue her and find out, she's having a seizure and take care of that first, and then kind of asking her a few questions because I'm wondering why her brain's shutting down, like my computer here. How odd. Dang it. Oh well, no computer tonight. Anyways, she suffered from a situational illness. All her problems had compiled, and she never took care of them. She put them off and put them off and put them off, and now she had a mental illness because of her situation. She had a quote situational illness. So don't let your situations create an illness in you guys as well, okay? You got to work that stuff out in your head. And I have found sometimes when I'm doing my lists, when I go out to like tackle something, I'll take care of the hardest chore on the list first instead of putting it off as the last one. Most people procrastinate. They put off the hardest chore or the hardest, the hardest thing to do on the honey-do list, whatever. They'll put the hardest one off for last. If you do that, then you dread doing that last one. But if you take care of the hardest one first and you get it out of the way, you look back and go, oh, that wasn't so bad. Then that the hardest one's already taken care of. Then the rest seem easy compared to what you just taken care of. So there's different ways of working and different ways of looking at it. When you tackle the hardest thing first, everything else is downhill from there. If you take care of the easy stuff first and then put the hard thing off, you will keep putting it off because it's the hard one, and you will still stress. It'll still be in the back of your mind. Quit putting problems and issues to the back of your mind and putting them off. Address them right away. You will find more peace of mind that way. Keep working the steps. Even if you're not alcoholic or drug addict, it doesn't mean those steps don't count. The steps in AA, NA are more than just recovery from drugs and alcohol. It is actually a way of living. It's a code of life that it should have been taught in school. Frankly, a lot of the information that we were taught in school, you don't use in life. Some valuable stuff in life needs to be learned and should be taught, right? Well, where do students go to be taught? Well, school. And what have our schools done? I mean, if you look at our campuses right now, okay, a lack of knowledge. You've got to forgive them. They know not what they do. Okay, we have a whole society that's brainwashed, mass psychosis, because they went and delved into this area and then went and tried to brainwash people into thinking evil thoughts. All right, they lied to you in your history. They manipulate everything to get money out of you. All right, to satisfy their greed. And we all have greed. But do you have self-control? That's what it's about. Do you have self-control? A lot of people change when they get millions of dollars. They inherit $1 million and they're broke a couple of years later. It changes people. So you got to have a stable mind. You got to understand what's going on, where you come from, who you are, your spirituality. And it's hard, but if you're trying, as long as you are fighting, you're all good. You may not win the battle in your mind, but as long as you're trying to stay positive, you're using the tools, you're finding some peace. Situations in the world are going to be overwhelming, okay? But as long as you have that hunger inside to want to do better, to help your brother, to reflect my light into others, you're the conduit now too. Portals do exist, but they exist in humans, not out in space, not in not by CERN opening up. No, portal. You're the portal. By the way, portals are real. It's every human walking around, and you can entertain both sides. All right, you're the portal. So you choose which side you want to be on. Okay? And knowing good from evil, choosing evil is easy. It's always the easiest choice, So when you're making a decision in your mind, and there's the obvious easy choice, and then there's the hard one. Well, it's usually the hard one that's the right one, because evil's easy to do. Doing the right thing is hard to do. So a new way of looking at life, a new way of, living life. Go out and do unto others now as you would have done unto you. Help them. Reflect my light into them. Give them hope and strength. You're a channel of my hope and strength. You can give it to them as well. Just like I give you hope and strength, you can give other people hope and strength as well by reflecting me through you. Okay? Very simple stuff, but very hard to do. Okay? And don't let this scare you into thinking, oh my God, he's the Antichrist. Well, there is an Antichrist in every single one of us. It's a way of thinking. It's a spirit. It's you either hate or you love. Okay? So the Antichrist spirit resides in every single person. Now that you know that, the battle's within. Now I'm giving you the tools to fight that inward battle. Okay? Well, instead of Christ or the opposition to Christ. Okay? This would be regular, this would be anti. It's always a game of opposites. Like the opposite of pro is con. So if the opposite of progress would be Congress. Okay, so when you're looking at things, always look at the opposite too. All right, for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So good deeds sometimes get punished, and evil people sometimes get away with stuff. But how are they going to deal with that in their mind? When we boil this all down, how are they going to fare in their minds? Not too well. How are you going to fare in your mind? You're going to fare a lot better. You're going to have victory, aren't you? You already got victory. You're here listening to me right now. So you already have victory. You can smell heaven already. All right? So when you see this stuff coming and it freaks you out and you're future tripping, think of it this way. You're one step closer to heaven. Every day you accomplish spiritual achievements and you make it one step closer to heaven. Day after day, moment after moment, actually. You guys are in the spiritual warfare department. Okay? I recruited you. I'm the leader of the spiritual warfare department. My name is Brian Knight. I'm God and the devil all in one. And you were created in my image, and you have the spiritual affliction as well. And I told you I would be back. I told you I would come back. I am back to help you. And I love you. And I miss you. And until my next show, hopefully we have a next show. It might not be because of computer issues and not internet issues or whatever. I might have to get a new laptop, something happening there. But remember, you can't serve two masters. So learn to pick a side and stick with it. You have to fight. You have to fight this affliction. You can't just settle with it. You gotta continue to try to do good. Okay? You have the propensity for evil. So we're trying to break you of that and get you to have the propensity to do good, to help your brother, and not steal and rob and cheat him. Okay? That you have a propensity to do. I'm here to kind of clean this shit up and fix you. All right? That's it for now. I love you all. I miss you all. Thank you for enduring and understanding and, trusting me. It's been hard to do this. I was trying to show you more, and I will continue to show you more, okay? Because the more you know, the more you understand, the more happier you will be. You will be now a spiritual warrior. You will be out there fighting the spiritual battle within and still helping others. Okay? And each day that goes by is a day closer to heaven, and each day that goes by is less time. So we're running out of time. It's important that you see how important your time is now too. So as you go through each day, count up your achievements, go tackle the world, go get her done. The finish line is there. In fact, another way of looking at this today, I saw a little, not a marathon, but like a little jogathon going on, and it reminded me the marathon. We're in a race, we're running a race, right? Like a marathon. And what's cool about a marathon is the people that are participating in the marathon wear a little number on their chest or a little, well, their number showing that they're a participant in the marathon. So guess what? You got a number. You're a participant in the marathon. There's a finish line. You're going to get rewarded for finishing this marathon, okay? And there are people along the sidelines, the audience that's watching from above, right? They see you running the marathon, and you're the dude with a number on your jersey. Most of the people don't have a jersey or a number or even in the marathon. So think about that. You're a marathon runner and you got a number. You're a participant now. You're not just standing on the sideline no more. You're actually in the race running. You got a finish line coming and you're going to get victory. Okay? You're a marathon runner with a number. Okay? When I went by there, seen them guys jogging, I looked at my shirt and I'm like, wait, I don't have a number. I'm not a participant in this. I want to be a participant. I want a number on my jersey. I want to be running this race. I want victory because I love the taste of victory. But it's sweeter when you work hard for it. Victory isn't just like handed to you. You got to work for it, right? That's what makes it sweet. So we're working on it. We're battling ourselves and we're working towards victory, which brings happiness and peace and joy. I love you guys. I miss you all. Sorry about the deviation in the show tonight, but that's what it is. It always is what it is. Sometimes you got to just let go and let God, and it is what it is. And just remember, it's not going to change my unfailing love for you, okay? So think what you want. You all have your different opinions, I'm sure, okay? But rest assured that if I love you, you're okay. If you resist me and hate me, well, you're going to get that part too. So it's your decision. I just provide the knowledge, is all. And you guys, I give you the tools. Okay. Now you guys have tools in your toolbox to help you with anxiety and depression and to help you fight the spiritual battle within. Okay. All right. And you guys can do this. It can be done. All right. And you'll find peace of mind, even in the midst of adversity. You know where your destination is now, and nothing on this planet compares even slightly to that wonderful destination of paradise when you're rewarded. Okay. Instead of suffering, you guys are doing all of your tribulation now in your suffering and your pain and all the issues in your life. Every single issue is your affliction right now, and you're going through it now. When other people who are living high on the hog, never had any pain or any suffering in their life, well, they're going to have to suffer a whole life's worth of pain and stuff in a compressed version. Yours will be already done. You will have finished the marathon. You put your pain in while you were running the marathon. All the people on the sideline now, you're going to take off your number and you're going to hand it to them. And they're going to be like, what? You said, yeah, but you only got 30 seconds to run the 26 miles. Good luck with that. Meanwhile, you guys have been jogging the whole time, doing your hard work, enduring your pain, your affliction, and you guys are participants in the race. There is a finish line. You will have glory when you endure pain for a goal and you achieve that goal, regardless of the pain you went through. That's glory. You achieved it. You overcame through the toughest adversity, the pain, and you won. You crossed the finish line. Doesn't matter if you came in second, third, fourth, fifth. There is no second, third, fourth, and fifth. It's you're a participant and you cross the finish line. Okay? Very important stuff. Important that you understand what's going on and who I am. Okay? And who you are. All right? And what this planet is and how everything's going down. So when you see this stuff going down in the news, don't let it freak you out. I'm making everything new. You're walking close with me. I want you to relax and remember I'm in control and let that soothe you like waves washing over you, assuring you of my endless love. Okay? Not everything that you see happening is because I love you. It's not going to damage you. Okay? So, I think that's it for tonight. Yeah, because I got more stuff to do and I got to figure out how to get another laptop now. So, everybody pray for tomorrow. I would suggest tomorrow get prepared in case there is a blackout or any internet issues. You might lose your internet for a while. Who knows? We'll see what happens here. Okay? No matter what happens, though, it doesn't change my love for you. Okay? The more you trust in me, the more you will find that I love you. You can hear it in my voice. I've been through a lot to try to bring this to you guys, and it hasn't been easy. So I appreciate your tolerance and patience with me. Okay? So, why do you have an idol in front of our faces? It's not an idol. It's not an idol. Unless you're worshiping it. Are you worshiping this? You better not be worshiping this. This is an explanation. Okay? This is so you can visualize what's going on inside your head, what's really your spirit is. Okay? It's not an idol unless you make it one. Anything that you make more important than Jesus becomes an idol, right? Okay? Here's a better image to look at. Still the same spiritual effect. Okay? It's to reassure you, even though there's negative in there, I love you. I choose good over evil, even though I have the propensity for it. Do you? Instead of worrying about me, you better start asking yourself, do you have the propensity for evil? Are you going to be able to overcome this? Are you going to take this seriously and use the tools I gave you? Or are you going to screw this all off and just hope that you're going to roll the dice? And then when you see huge earthquakes happening next week and volcanoes going off all the place, you're going to be tripping. No, you're going to be trusting and relaxed and smiling, knowing that everybody else is tripping because they're not in the marathon. They don't have a number on their jersey. They're not participating, so they're tripping. But you're in the marathon. You know you're a runner. You know you got victory coming. So no matter what happens, you can still rejoice. Okay? And I'm sorry if I snapped at you and you think that I was showing you an idol. Okay? It's not anything can be an idol if you treasure it more than your Savior, your Creator, your Father, the one who sacrificed so you can eat, sleep, drink, be merry, and forget all about the one who sacrificed, right? So, not an idol. It is a painting of your spirituality. It's a painting of God, okay? And what happened to me has been excruciatingly painful. And I endure it because, because I want victory. I want victory for you. How are you supposed to have victory without knowledge? Okay. And even if I lose subscribers and lose audience, well, that's your choice. Maybe you should work on your issues. And if I say something that offends you, maybe it's not me. Maybe it's you. Maybe you got issues you need to work on. Because there shouldn't be anything that I say here that offends you. Okay? There shouldn't be anything I show here that offends you. You should be spiritually strong by now to withhandle anything I show you or anything that happens on the planet now. Okay? You can teach like you are, but teach his word. Have you not listened to my notes? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not getting upset with you. Do you not recognize this? Relax, my child. I am control. Let these words wash over you repeatedly like soothing waves on a beach, assuring you of my endless love. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. That's Jeremiah 29:11. Just because I don't read the actual scripture right out of the Bible, you better pay attention. You better pay close attention to what I read. It is the Bible. It's in a form so you can learn. Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace be removed. That's Isaiah 54:10. Okay. I myself am your peace. So live close to me so you can enjoy this supernatural peace. Come freely into my presence, beloved, even when you're feeling bad about yourself. Remember who I am, the Lord who has compassion on you. Okay? So, for he himself is our peace, who has made both one and has broken down the middle wall of separation. That's Ephesians 2:14. Are you picking up on what I'm laying down now? So this whole time I have been reading scripture to you, haven't I? You just didn't recognize it because, I don't know, do you study the Bible or did you grasp the concepts in there? Oh, maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't grasp those concepts. That's why I'm spelling them out for you. Think deeply. Let me find more examples for you here. So, while you and I walk together along the path of life, your trust in me will fill your heart with joy and your mind with peace. You will show me the path of life, and in your presence is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. That's Psalms 16:11. Surprise! Everything I've been teaching you comes right out of the Bible. So, maybe you just didn't recognize the scripture, but you should recognize the concepts. Capiche? Comprende? Catorce? I just do it in a different style now so you guys can grasp the concepts, because it seems like everybody missed the concepts in the Bible because you're all running around like you are. I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to help you. I know your affliction. I understand it well. I created you that way. I'm giving you tools. It's your choice whether to use them. The more you trust in me and the more you use your tools, the more blessed your life will be. And then you'll understand who I am and you'll go, God damn, he was telling me the truth. No way. Okay? Give it a shot. Give it a try. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And if you don't give it a try and you don't trust me, well, you're rolling the dice, aren't you? So you can roll the dice or you can rest in peace and have joy. Depends on how you look at it, okay? And I'm not trying to rip on you guys. I'm trying to help you understand and see. When you see that image, it's not ideal. It's not an idol. When I'm reading my notes to you, it's because of experience. I learned from experience, not out of the Bible. I learned from experience. And all my experience happens to be the Bible. Amazing, huh? That's why I go before you. And now I'm here with you. Enjoy my presence. Relax in my presence. Find peace. Find joy in knowing that you're a participant in the race. You are going to finish. You are not the people in the crowd who will not have glory. All right. You will have glory because you're a participant. You're putting in the work now. Everybody else is not putting in work, and they will have to later on in a compressed fashion. Wouldn't you rather have it easy, distributed, nice and even over a long period of time, or would you rather just have it all shoved at you all at once until you're freaking out? Or you could be a spirit that has taken this man over. I like that. Olivia Hodges. Or you could be a spirit that has taken this man over. You are so correct. You are so correct. Guess what spirit took this man over? I showed you it was born right after the Revelation 12. That little baby I showed you, that's a spiritual entity. Yeah, you better read up on Revelation 12 and find out who that baby is. Then you'll know who I am. I'm telling you the truth when I show you this stuff. Is there anybody out there on YouTube, anybody out there that has this information that I have, that has the images, that has the experience, that this stuff, real paranormal activity happened to me to such an extent that it gave me a PTSD disorder that I had to go seek therapy for, and that didn't work until I realized Jesus is the therapy. These ways of living are your therapy. Do you want to live happily or stress-free and at peace and joy? It's your choice. Practice these ways and you'll have it. Relax, my child. I am in control. Let those words wash over you repeatedly, over and over and over and over and over and over. Yes, I am the therapy. You should find joy at this show. Some people look forward to this show all day and they're like, oh, Brian's coming on. I can't wait until he gets rid of all the science stuff and gets down to the meat and potatoes of the spiritual part of the show. And unfortunately, we took a detour tonight and went on a different angle. It's still the same destination. We just took a different angle because the computer went down. Okay? And now that you kind of know that my notes are from experience, and each one of them has a reference back to the Bible. Because the affliction I'm going through is true. I am the truth. See anybody else telling you the truth around this planet? You can't trust a single thing on this planet anymore. So you might as well get to know somebody, because that's the only thing you're going to be able to do. Trust in is somebody that you have a good relationship with. Okay? And try me out. I'm not that bad of a guy. I like to joke around. Some of the stuff we deal with is serious and disturbing, but you will find out through my character, you're supposed to understand my character by reading the Bible. When you see this person's character by reading the Bible, you would recognize him when he returned. You would recognize him by his character. Regardless of the skin color, you would say, hey, that's an outstanding man right there. He has something different. He has integrity. He has valor. He has brutal honesty that scares the shit out of me. He shows me stuff that I don't see anybody else with the courage to admit to on YouTube. And yet, this man makes me feel good. He gives me confidence. I hear something in his voice soothes me, makes me feel loved. He can relate to me. Yes, I can relate to you. Okay? Therein lies your strength. Knowing that you have somebody that can relate to you individually on your unique circumstances, and a therapist that will not fall asleep during the middle of your session, okay, that will hang on every word, that will actually help you find out stuff about yourself that you didn't even know about yourself. We're on a journey of self-discovery too. Okay, so important that you guys understand all this. You understand what your part is in it now. You are divine. Jump up and down, rejoice. Yay! Yay! I'm a participant in the race. I'm divine. I can choose to go to hell if I want to, but I think I like this divine path a lot better of being peaceful, joyful, with real peace, with real joy, sharing it with your true family, the people that would believe you and trust you. Imagine if all this stuff happened to you and no one believed you. It would drive you insane, especially when it's real and it's painful. And yet nobody believes you and they keep inflicting pain on you. And you're like, hey, quit doing that. It hurts. They're like, what are you talking about? Well, for instance, you're stabbing me with a sword and it hurts. What? Oh, come on. Stabbing people with a sword doesn't hurt. What are you talking about? So it's a lot of denial, a lot of pain that I go through. And you're going to have to go through that too. It's hard when people won't believe you. So instead, I just keep going on. I'm going to keep doing my show. Maybe you'll find something along the way that I said or showed, or maybe you'll connect the dots. And then you will find something in me that I can't just come out and say. I can't come out and say it because when you do something like that in this society anymore, so besides, it's not for me to say or declare, it's actually for you to say and declare. Because the moment you do realize who I am and you say it and declare it and believe it, that makes you who you are, divine. Give it a try. You got nothing to lose. And if I disappoint you, well, you might have some work to do still. Okay? Because in every disappointment is a growth opportunity. Oh, I'm exhausted. Okay. I think that's it for tonight because I'm exhausted. I'm frustrated. My computer broke down and I had so much different stuff to take you on. Didn't really want to go down that path tonight, but seeing as how we do have inbound energy tomorrow, I'm going to try to do a daytime show, maybe early before this impact hits. Oh, speaking of impact, our closest guesstimates now are 5 p.m. Eastern. So 5 p.m. Eastern is around the time they're expecting impact. So that would translate 5 p.m. 2 on the West Coast. Oh, Olivia, I'm sorry if I seemed upset. I'm not upset. I get passionate. All right. Sometimes I come off as upset, so I'm not upset with you, sweetie. Bless you for commenting and at least being here. Okay. Most people don't have the guts to comment or talk in the chat. They're lurking in the background because they're like, oh my God, I don't want to say the wrong thing in front of this guy. It's okay. You can put stuff in the chat and say the wrong thing in front of this guy because it's my pleasure to forgive. Oh, did that just free you up or what? So, the only thing I get offended at is my own stuff, and I work on it. Okay. So, you guys need to work on being offended. If something offended you, well, you got issues you need to work on. Okay. And let's address them. Let's honestly address them. We're gonna strengthen you. Yeah, iron sharpens iron. Very good. Somebody's getting it finally. Alrighty, good. Olivia, you're right where you belong. Okay, every single person, even in the replay, you're right where you belong. Probably didn't even make it this far in the replay, but sorry about the show taking a weird turn like that. You guys had stuck it out. I'm proud of you guys and thankful for your attentiveness and willing to learn. You know, it's willingness and open-mindedness. You know, you guys have been taught wrong, and your schools and your governments have let you down. And there's some vital information that you need to finish the race, to live happily, to find peace and joy, how to find joy in adversity, look at problems as challenges now to overcome, because you know the second you overcome it, you're going to have another notch in your belt. It's only going to make you stronger, more experienced, tougher, and a stronger love too, as well. All right, that's it for tonight. I love you all. I miss you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. You guys should be able to tell by now. You should be able to tell by my character, by the wisdom I share with you, by my notes, by the knowledge that and the angels and all these other things I've shown you. Okay? I love you. I miss you. Until my next show, I will be back. I am already back, and I am still to come. Bye. Love you all.